It's a hot night in Arlington, Texas, and at AT&T Stadium, things will really heat up when the Giants meet the Cowboys on Sunday Night Football. Outside, 93 degrees in Arlington, Texas. Inside, the roof is closed. A very comfortable 70 degrees at AT&T Stadium. A crowd of more than 90,000 expected to look on as Eli Manning and his New York Giants come into town to take on Tony Romo. Here he comes out to the field and his Dallas Cowboys on NBC's Sunday Night Football. Al Michaels, Chris Collinsworth, and Michelle DeFoya. Welcome to our Sunday night opener. You know, 2 years ago, the Giants finished 9-7, good enough to get to the playoffs. And you know what happened? They went on to win the Super Bowl. Last year, they were 9-7, not good enough to get to the playoffs. Now they start this next journey with a lot of impactful injuries they'll have to work through tonight. And then there are the Cowboys. Dallas 8-8 in each of the last two seasons. They haven't been to the playoffs since 2009. This is a team, it's so tough to get a handle on the Dallas Cowboys. A lot of people around football say, well, they're very talented. They could win 11 or 12 games. A lot of people say, oh, no, they're overrated. They stink. They can lose 11 or 12 games. The predictions are all over the map. Chris, how do the Dallas Cowboys stack up, in your view, at the outset of the season?
I think they should be a playoff team. I really do. They have DeMarco Murray back, their star running back. Their defense should be improved under Monty Kiffin. They're really flying around and hustling to the football. And Tony Romo has to be happy. You know, he got paid a new contract. They turned the offense over to him. No excuses now. Into 9 figures. Now, the Giants have come in here since the stadium was built. They are 4-0. They use this as a vacation home. What do they have to do to win tonight? Well, I think they're going to win the way they always win, on the strength of that defensive line. And they get a huge addition tonight with the return of Jason Pierre-Paul. We've seen it in the past. He's an absolute game wrecker for the Dallas Cowboys. But what better way to kick off Sunday Night Football? The Giants and the Cowboys should be great. They have been mixing it up since 1960. A great NFC East rivalry on Sunday night.
NBC Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
Moments away from kickoff in Arlington, Texas. The Giants and the Cowboys. A short while ago on the field, Michelle talked with the Cowboys' DeMarcus Ware.
DeMarcus, for as long as you've been in Dallas, you've been in a 3-4 defense. Now under Monty Kiffin, the new defensive coordinator, and Rod Marinelli, the new line coach, it's a 4-3. How have you and your teammates adjusted to that transition?
You know what it's all about tonight for me. It's the first little, image that we're putting out and letting everybody know that just changing from the 3-4 to the 4-3 doesn't mean anything. We have the great players and guys that get out there, they can be receptive and play well. So we're looking forward to playing in the 4-3.
Well, you've had such success at outside linebacker. Now you're playing down defensive end. How will that change in position impact your game?
You know what, I was rushing probably about 85% of the time. Now I'm rushing 94% of the time. So it feels good being able to rush all the time, every play, and be aggressive and get to the quarterback.
Thanks so much, DeMarcus.
Thanks so much.
And Ware will be without his line mate, Anthony Spencer, tonight. He is out recovering from arthroscopic knee surgery. He'll be replaced in the lineup by George Selvey, who happened to have been a college teammate of Giants defensive star Jason Pierre-Paul. As for JPP, he had back surgery in June. He told me earlier he's had 2 solid weeks of practice, and he won't start tonight, but he told me once he gets on the field, the coaches are going to have a tough time getting him to leave.
All right, thank you, Michelle. The injury report, plenty for both teams on that count. Dan Bailey's going to kick off for the Dallas Cowboys. The Giants will receive. The roof is closed. The pyrotechnics are going off. AT&T Stadium, the newly renamed stadium, opening in 2009. That's Michael Cox, a rookie from Massachusetts who was drafted in the 7th round, ready to accept the opening kickoff. And here we go on Sunday night with a touchback. And let's take a look at the New York Giants offense.
Eli Manning, Ole Miss.
David Wilson, Virginia Tech.
Henry Hainosky, Pittsburgh.
Victor Cruz, Massachusetts. Hakeem Nicks, North Carolina.
Brandon Myers, Iowa.
William Beatty, UConn.
James Brewer, Indiana University.
Kevin Booth, Cornell. Chris Snee, Boston College.
Justin Pugh, Syracuse University.
Pugh was their #1 draft choice, so he gets thrown into the fire immediately because of a couple of injuries to Boss and Deal up front. And we begin with play action and a screen pass that is almost intercepted, and DeMarcus Ware is there, and DeMarcus Ware gets it. He does pick it off, and what a beginning for the Dallas Cowboys. And Manning can only shake his head. So Ware in that new defense, Michelle just talking to him, and not a bad debut with the new defense.
Here he is right out here. There's no way Eli ever saw him. Got pressure coming in his face, but that's typical for a screen pass, his lineman release, and just unbelievable. We saw Peyton the other night throw for 7 touchdowns and have a perfect night, and this one starts imperfectly for Eli.
The Cowboys wanted more turnovers this season. They had only 1 per game last year. Ware with only his 2nd career interception. The other came back in 2006. And that's the way the season begins for the Cowboys and the Giants. First down at the 15, and they'll start out of the pistol. And the ball is handed off to DeMarco Murray, just trying to stay healthy this year. 3rd year back out of Oklahoma. Picks up about 3. 2nd and 7. Tony Romo on opening day, and he opened the 2007 season, and every season since became the starter in the middle of the 06 campaign. Very good in openers, especially last year as well against the Giants at the Meadowlands. 2nd down and 7. They spread them out. And then there's action up front on the left side. That's Tyron Smith.
Start. Offense, number 77. 5-yard penalty remains. First down.
The best of their offensive linemen, but a false start here. Garrett took over, Jason Garrett, for Wade Phillips halfway through the 2010 season. Won his first game as a head coach at the Giants. Now his 3rd full season. And Garrett with Tom Coughlin on the other side. Tom at the age of 67 in his 10th year. Garrett no longer the play caller. Bill Callahan calling the plays for the Dallas Cowboys. And we'll see what he's dialed up on a 2nd and 12. Romo over the middle, a little behind Murray. He has to reach back to make the catch. And Antrell Roll comes up to make the tackle. So that'll set up a 3rd and 8.
Antrell Roll that time came from a long way away to make that play. When you get a running back in the open field, it can be difficult, but you're going to see he has to come all the way across the formation here to end up making an open field tackle. If that throws a little better, he might have scored.
Now Jason Pierre-Paul comes into the game. JPP number 90. It's 3rd down and 7. Romo for the end zone and incomplete. looking for a flag. Turning around was Murray. There is none. So 4th down, and the Giants able to hold them to a field goal attempt.
Well, the old Super Bowl trick here, Justin Tuck going down over the guard, Mackenzie Bernardo, and that is a mismatch. Justin Tuck, you can see it on tape already. He is healthier than what he's been. Last couple of seasons, his numbers have been down, but right now he looks much improved.
Bailey, as you can see, the last missed field goal attempt under 50 was that big block by Pierre-Paul in a game here a couple of years ago to cement it for the Giants. A 30-yard attempt is good. So the Ware interception, the Dallas field goal 2 minutes into the game. 3-0 Cowboys. Sunday Night Football being brought to you by Southwest Airlines. You can find our fares online only at southwest.com. By AT&T, rethink possible. By Frost Brewed Coors Light, the game's most refreshing beer. And by Toyota. Oh yeah, we're in Texas on this hot Sunday night. Hot beginning for the Cowboys, at least defensively, and then the Giants able to hold them to 3. Bailey with his second kickoff now. And it will be his second touchback. And let's take a look at the Cowboys starting defense.
George Selvey, South Florida.
Nick Hayden, Wisconsin.
Jason Hatcher, Grambling State.
DeMarcus Ware, Troy University.
Justin Durant, Real HU, Hampton.
Sean Lee, Penn State.
Bruce Carter, North Carolina.
Brandon Carr, Grand Valley State.
Will Allen, The Ohio State University.
Barry Church, Toledo.
Morris Claiborne, LSU.
Morris Claiborne, a guy who did not play at all during the preseason after injuring his knee in early August. And now off play action. Manning throws, and that's a strike. And that is Nix for a big game inside the Cowboys 40 and finally pushed out of bounds at the 21. So Eli, after throwing the early pick, hits Nix over the middle for 59 yards to the Dallas 21-yard line.
Well, they try and disguise and bring a safety down late, but it really leaves Claiborne wide open on the outside. Here's a guy coming off a knee injury, and you just wonder if the Giants don't have it in mind. They're going to find out exactly how he's feeling. Played none at all during the course of the preseason.
Well, Nix coming off his own knee problems as well. Beating Claiborne on that. They spotted at the 23, so it's officially 57 yards. And Manning on a quick drop, and then the pass is through the hands of Victor Cruz, another guy who's been banged up with a bruised heel over the past couple of weeks. Through his hands, 2nd and 10. 73-year-old Monty Kiffin, longtime NFL coach, and then coached under his son Lane at Tennessee and then at USC. Comes over from the Trojans back into the NFL to be the defensive coordinator. Last year under Rob Ryan, fewest takeaways in franchise history. But Rob's a pretty happy guy today. He's now at New Orleans, and they beat Atlanta.
Great goal line stand in that one, too, to win it.
2nd down and 10. Play action again, and the pass is juggled and incomplete. Intended for Brandon Myers, the new Giants tight end. Martellus Bennett was the tight end. He left for Chicago. Myers comes over from Oakland, where he had 79 catches last year.
He had 79 catches, but not in this style of offense. The New York Giants are a team that runs a lot of option routes where they give the tight end the choice, break in, break out, break up the field, and the quarterback has to read them. He's been slow to get that system going, so you just wonder how much confidence Eli has in making that kind of throw.
Will Allen covering him over the middle. The Giants had 3 receivers to the left in a bunch formation, and Manning looking that way, and then over the middle, and throws complete inside the 10-yard line to Reuben Randall. Right now, their number 3 receiver, second-year man out of LSU, drafted in the 2nd round, and they think he is, or they hope he is, an emerging star.
Will Beatty right here has a huge assignment tonight against DeMarcus Ware, and that is pretty darn good. And he's going to have to hold up like that because they're going to try and help some of the other guys inside. James Brewer and Justin Pugh, the rookie. So more than ever in this game, you're going to see Beatty one-on-one with DeMarcus Ware.
Now they go with a fullback, Hynoski, and the running back is Wilson. It's 1st and goal from the 8. Wilson, their new #1 back, gets bounced around on the outside and loses the ball, which was the case last year in the opener. Barry Church was able to create the fumble. George Selvey recovers it, and just like last year on opening night when Wilson fumbled against Dallas, he does it again, and there goes that drive. Church ripping it out. Well, Ahmad Bradshaw is gone. He's in Indianapolis. Wilson is now the man. Last year on his second carry, he was stripped by Sean Lee, got into Tom Coughlin's doghouse, and it took about a half a season to emerge. Now Romo stepping away, sliding to his left, and the pass is incomplete, intended for Bryant, and we go back to the Wilson fumble.
Well, a couple of things to talk about here. First of all, Henry Hynoski right here, and there's Church over there. Hynoski has not played because of a knee injury, and you'll see he completely misses Church here. This is not a Hynoski-like block coming off the edge, and allows Church to rip that thing out, something they've been working on a lot around here, but also the hustle by George Selvey coming over on the backside, and it couldn't have started any worse for David Wilson.
Pair of turnovers already for the Giants, and now the ball is given to Murray, and Murray up to the 9-yard line. And let's take a look at the Cowboy offensive starters.
Tony Romo, Eastern Illinois University.
DeMarco Murray, Oklahoma. Dez Bryant, Oklahoma State.
Miles Austin, Monmouth University.
Jason Witten, Tennessee.
James Hanna, Oklahoma. Tyron Smith, USC.
Ronald Leary, University of Memphis.
Travis Frederick, Wisconsin.
Mackenzie Bernardo, Bentley.
Doug Free, Northern Illinois University.
That offensive line, which was such a problem for the Cowboys, especially last year, when they were down toward the bottom of the league in rushing. The #1 draft choice is the center, Frederick, out of Wisconsin. And Romo, with time, goes to the outside, hits Witten, who caught 18 passes when these two teams met here last year. But this one is 5 yards shy of the first down, and the Cowboys will have to punt.
Here's Jason Pierre-Paul on the outside working against Tyron Smith, and not bad, but usually when you see him working against anybody, it's pretty explosive. We'll see if he warms into this game.
Chris Jones to punt. Ruben Randall will run it back. And Jones high in the air just underneath the big board. And Randall fields it and gets hit immediately by Dwayne Harris. Good special teams coverage. Giants get it back. Dallas up by 3. Log on to NBCSports.com and you can check out NBC Sports Live Extra. A lot of good stuff. The screen will look like that. Michelle, Mike Florio, always aboard, and Drew Pearson is our guest social media analyst tonight. Great Dallas Cowboy receiver of the pass. From the 38-yard line, the Giants begin this drive. Wilson to the outside, and Wilson atoning partially for that fumble. Picks up 13. Well, I guess you never really atone for the fumble when you're inside the 10-yard line. But
10
you know
yards,
what I mean.
that makes up for everything.
Yeah, right, sure.
Here's Brewer coming around here in his first ever guard. Good mobility out in front. Nice shot block on the outside by Brandon Myers as well. Boy, he had that one locked down, didn't he? You know, the other thing to remember is that Andre Brown probably would have been the guy on the goal line if he had not been injured running the ball, because he's not there. They had to give it to David Wilson in the turnover.
Lost him to a broken leg in the last preseason game. And now Wilson tries to cut it back to the left side. Nick Hayden makes the stop. The Giants rushing, well, when you talk about their rushing leaders coming into the game, take a look at this. Eli Manning would be their leading rusher on the roster right now. Then there's Wilson after his rookie year. Lewis Murphy is a wideout. Curtis Painter is the backup quarterback. The punter, Weatherford, is 5th. But before the night is done, you would think Wilson will be #1 on that list.
If he fumbles again, he may not get a chance.
That's right. Maybe Weatherford goes back there. Second down and 10. Look out as Manning has to get it away and does, and then it is dropped out in the flat by Hynoski, the safety valve. And that's DeMarcus Ware putting the pressure on from the backside. 3rd and 10.
Well, we talked about it, but DeMarcus Ware is going to be a nightmare coming off the shoulder surgery from a year ago. He looks so much healthier, just slapping the hands away of Will Beatty. And they're trying to help Brewer inside. They're trying to help Kevin Booth inside because this guy is somebody you don't want to see, especially when he's healthy. He was not healthy last year, but when he's right, he is tough.
3rd and 10 with the Giants going 4 wide. And Manning slings it, and it is intercepted. A 3rd turnover. Will Allen. And the Giants have turned the ball over 3 times in 6 minutes and 10 seconds. Well, you know what Big Brothers did on Thursday night, 72 hours ago. Peyton with 7 touchdown passes. Eli starts tonight 2 out of 7 for 2 interceptions. And Allen has been involved in 2 of the 3 turnovers. As Tony Romo takes over now at the 48-yard line. The Cowboys are still looking for their first down. And DeMarco Murray with some tough running picks up 11 to the 41, and they do get their first down, tackled by Mundy.
I tell you, there's a new rule in the NFL about dropping your helmet, and I don't think this is one, but this is what you get with DeMarco Murray. That is pretty close to it. There's a shoulder first shot. But talking to Antrell Roll about trying to tackle this guy, he said, I can't tell you how many times I've tasted the crown of his helmet. He is a tough runner, but he has to watch that. That was close.
It's okay if you're in the confines, close to the line of scrimmage, inside the tackles, but you get downfield, Here's Murray. Let's see what he does here. And this time he gets taken down from behind by Terrell Thomas, gain of 7. Here's the Giants defense.
Justin Tuck, Notre Dame.
Linville Joseph, East Carolina.
Colin Jenkins, Central Michigan.
Matthias Kiwanuka, Boston College.
Keith Rivers, University of Southern California. Dan Connor, Penn State.
Spencer Paysinger, Oregon.
Corey Webster, LSU.
Antrell Roll, the U.
Ryan Mundy, Woodland Hills High School.
Prince Amukamara, Nebraska.
Amukamara has really developed. Clearly their #1 corner now as Miles Austin makes the catch, and Amukamara makes the tackle. So the Cowboys with a pair of first downs after the turnover, and will have a 1st and 10 at the Giants' 26-yard line.
Now Miles Austin didn't get the memo how good Amukamara is, and I tell you, Al, I think he is one of the keys to this team. I really do. When Miles Austin is right, and he had so many nagging injuries over the last few years, but when he's healthy, he really adds that 3rd element to this offense, and they really took it easy with him during camp this year, and it paid off.
And takes some of the heat off Dez Bryant, who's #1 right now. Here's Austin again, bouncing his way to the 21, and we have a penalty, our first flag of the night. Tony Correnti is the referee.
Holding, offense number 84. 10-yard penalty, repeat, first down.
That's James Hanna, one of the 4 tight ends on the Dallas roster.
And remember, no fullbacks this year for the Dallas Cowboys. They've decided to go with 4 tight ends. They're going to play some of these guys at the fullback position, but they are no longer that fullback lead kind of team like they were back in the days with Emmett and Moose.
6:40 to go in the opening frame. 1st and 20 now from the 34-yard line. And Romo stepping out to his left and then throwing to Gavin Escobar, who is their 2nd-round draft choice out of San Diego State.
Take another look at Jason Pierre-Paul coming off the edge here. Pretty good. He saw the quick throw, but you're starting to see a little bit of the wiggle, I guess is the term I would use. When he's at his best, the lateral movement as he's running forward, it's pretty impressive.
2nd and 11 from the 27-yard line. It's a base 4-3. And Romo from the short shotgun throws too high, intended for Miles Austin. Corey Webster with the coverage for the Giants. It'll be 3rd down and 11.
A lot of times in this offense, and especially now that Tony Romo is so involved, he doesn't have to give an audible anymore. He can give a single hand signal to one of the outside guys, and it's just the 2 of them. So in other words, he's going to adjust that route. He's going to catch it and throw the ball out of there. One thing that the Giants feel like that Tony does is early in the game, he wants to get rid of the ball quickly, so they're trying to jump some of these underneath routes.
3rd and 11, they have both Austin and Bryant to the left side, with Austin coming out of the slot. And the Giants blitz, and Romo gets it away, and the open man is Witten. And Witten trying to get the first down, and does, as he has done so often through his career. Caught 110 balls last year, 18 against the Giants in the stadium. First down off a 3rd and 11, 14 yards.
Completely blown coverage that time. They bring the blitz right there, and there is simply nobody to cover Jason Witten. Witten caught 18 balls against them in the game last year, and that blown coverage really hurts when you've got them backed up. That was time to send the field goal unit out, and they just blew it.
Drive started at the Cowboys' 48-yard line, now at the 13, and Romo fumbles and then picks it up at the 14-yard line. Again, it's Travis Frederick. They've had fumbling problems through the years trying to find the right center, so they, in the draft, went for Frederick in the 1st round out of Wisconsin.
And you know the New York Giants are going to try and challenge him. Look, they put a guy on either side of Frederick at the snap of the ball, maybe trying to intimidate him just a bit. Did Romo come out too early? It's always difficult to tell, but they definitely wanted to put some pressure on the young rookie, Travis Frederick, and see how he handled this 90,000-plus crowd.
On 2nd and 11, Murray goes in motion as they empty the backfield. And Romo has time and then throws incomplete, and starting to slip as he got to the goal line was Gavin Escobar. It'll be 3rd down and 11. Lost his shoe, and that's why he slipped.
This Tyron Smith really has a chance to be a great one. You talk to some of the guys from the Cowboys, they think he is as strong-handed as any offensive lineman that they've been around. Bill Callahan telling me, he said, I've seen them all, man. This guy, when he gets his hands on you, it is simply over. Very young player, but the best still yet to come. Big test for him tonight, though.
A rookie at age 20, 22 now, drafted out of USC, 9th overall pick in 2011. 3rd and 11. And Romo throws, and that's almost, and is picked off the deflection. And this is Ryan Monday off the deflection, the former Pittsburgh Steeler, who runs it all the way back inside the 20, the 10, and takes the ball to the 1-yard line. Prince Amukamara got his hand on it, and Ryan Monday comes up with the interception and sets up a 1st and goal.
Just confusion here. You could tell that Terrence Williams on the outside, remember the way that Dez Bryant would make some of these mistakes before? All these read routes, you read the coverage, Romo sees one thing, the young receiver sees something else, and here we go. Just seen this too many times from the Cowboys. Don't know if they have too many options in their routes or not. Williams simply deciding he was going to go deep. Romo read that he was coming underneath. You can't do that to your quarterback. You can't do those double moves on your own because he is reading you. Dez Bryant, deja vu, because that used to be his issue. No more, though.
Inside the 1, David Wilson behind Hynoski. And Wilson will get stuffed at the line of scrimmage. The Giants must feel like they've won the lottery. You've turned the ball over 3 times already, and you're only down 3-0, and you have a 2nd and goal.
And the Cowboys offense has done nothing. Defensively, it's been a brilliant game so far for the New York Giants. But this is now becoming an issue. We've already gotten a fumble out of David Wilson the first time they were down inside the 10-yard line. The guy who would be in there is Andre Brown. He got hurt. Let's see if Wilson can pick up the slack here and make something happen.
Play action, and Manning's going to go down to the 12-yard line as George Selvey, the college mate of the Giants' JPP, comes bursting through. And Tom Coughlin looking up at the replay. 3rd and goal.
One of the other problems with David Wilson in the backfield is he's going to have to block occasionally. This time it is Selvey who's going to break through. Wilson's going to throw at him. He's only about 205 pounds. Absolutely no way he could square up on Selvey, and it cost him a big sack.
Giants had huge issues, red zone offense in preseason. That's why Coughlin played a lot of the starters in the 4th game, which is very rare. And here they are again after a 1st and goal inside the 1. 3rd and goal from outside the 10. Fired over the middle, and that's caught. But at the 1.5-yard line, stopped there to set up a 4th and goal. And the catch is made inside by Brandon Myers, the tight end. And the Giants send out the field goal group.
Just talk about blown opportunities by both teams. I mean, they're getting the ball on the doorstep, and Tom Coughlin is giving it pretty good to David Wilson right there.
Right now, there's the tackle by DeMarco Murray, who goes all the way downfield to stop Mundy at the 1, prevent a touchdown, make the Giants settle for a field goal attempt. And new kicker is Josh Brown. Been in the league for a long time, started at Seattle, and we're tied at 3 in a crazy first quarter in Texas. The final seconds are ticking away before the premiere of the million-second quiz, the biggest prize in game show history. Million-second quiz hosted by Ryan Seacrest. It premieres tomorrow night, 8 Eastern and Pacific, 7 Central and Mountain, and it's live here on NBC. Josh Brown taking over the kicking duties from Lawrence Tynes, and his first kickoff results in a touchback.
Well, Tony Romo is trying to trust his young receiver, Terrence Williams. Watch this. Going to give him a hand signal. Boom, boom. There you go. That means a little hitch for me. I'll throw it out there to you. Not hitch and go. Don't do that. Mundy says thank you very much. I will give Romo some credit, though. He hustled back down and got in the way of that. And then a little lecture for the young guy. They really feel like Williams can be the guy that could stretch a defense for them. But it's so hard. Your first game and your nerves are all over the place. And 100,000 people, you know, your brain, it takes a little while to get it going sometimes.
Mundy had a 91-yard return inside the 1. And Murray with a 4-point, as it turns out, saving tackle. A field goal instead of a touchdown. And the pass is caught by Murray out in the flat, and Murray takes the ball to the 24-yard line. Boy, they've got to keep him healthy. He's such a big part of what Dallas wants to do in terms of balancing this offense.
Well, some new big guys in there. I assume right there that's Sean Rogers. Watch him take Ronald Leary right back, and then Leary gave it right back to him. The Giants really had a problem last year stopping the run. They have loaded up inside. Colin Jenkins and Mike Patterson, Sean Rogers. I think they're going to be better.
2nd and 6. Play clock down to 1. And over the middle into traffic, the pass is caught by Miles Austin. Needs to get, of course, to the 30-yard line and is a yard shy. Terrell Thomas making the tackle on the play. Final minute of the quarter, 3rd and 1 upcoming.
Well, right now they are playing over the top on Des Bryant. They, in other words, are sort of double teaming his side, which is the reason they keep going back away to the other side and Miles Austin. Until they can make him balance up that defense a little bit, you may not see much of Des. He is basically a decoy right now.
So Perry Fuel last year, the Giants next to last in defense, but they only gave up enough points to wind up 12th. So they were able to stiffen deep, and now a timeout called by Dallas. Just talking about that before we went to the break. The Giants next to last in yardage allowed last year, but in points allowed in the top half of the league. So their red zone defense was pretty good. Real good, in fact. Just gave up a lot of yards until the opposition got to the red zone.
I'll take the point stat over the yards any day.
I'm with you. 3rd and 1, they line up James Hanna, a tight end in the backfield, and fake it to Murray, and then the pass is caught, and Bryant makes the catch and gets the first down. So off play action, Bryant makes his first catch of the season to move the chains and take us to the end of the first quarter, unless the Cowboys can get a playoff in the next 15 seconds.
Yeah, I don't think Tony Romo cares anymore if Des Bryant's going to get that double coverage or not. Hard inside coverage on that short yardage, and he threw it to him anyway. I don't know how you keep that big guy from getting off the ball.
Romo looks at the clock. He'll let it expire. And that is the end of a somewhat bizarre first quarter in Arlington, Texas, with the score: the New York Giants 3 and the Dallas Cowboys 3. And Sunday Night Football continues after these messages. Second quarter, Al Michaels, Chris Collinsworth, Michelle Tafoya. The game is tied at 3, a 1st and 10, with DeMarco Murray picking up a couple. You know, of all the divisions, the 8 divisions in the NFL, the NFC East with Dallas and Washington and the Giants and Philadelphia, I think this is the most wide open of all. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't think there's any question about it. And these games become huge. We start right off with 2 divisional games for this division, and the Dallas Cowboys really need to make a statement. You know, they're talking big. They feel like they're going to be good. Romo loves all the freedom he now has to change plays, but it's got to show up on the field.
Second down and 8. And Romo with very good protection and wide open and hits Miles Austin, who takes the ball to the Giant 43-yard line. So Miles Austin has been the key target thus far. That's a gain of 18. He's caught 4 balls.
Well, you can't do that unless you can get it protected inside. Nice job by Travis Frederick, the young rookie in there, handling it. I tell you, the Dallas Cowboys offensive line, if they can get Brian Waters into the mix, whom they've signed and are going to bring back out here, this could go from a weakness a year ago to a strength.
Murray to the 38-yard line. Murray, third-year back out of Oklahoma, drafted in the 3rd round. Of course, the Cowboys, they surprised a lot of people with the #1 draft choice. They actually traded down with San Francisco and picked up that man, but they've had problems at center for a couple of years. They've had to rebuild an offensive line, and they hope he's the glue.
Yeah, and they're hoping that he can be the guy to kind of lock it in and give Romo some room to step up.
2nd and 5. Swing pass caught by Murray. He gets the first down.
You know, it's amazing, even though these are all professional football players, opening night jitters and emotions take a while to get over. I mean, it's like playing in the Super Bowl. You have to settle down. You have to get your brain functioning the right way and just thinking out there. And I think now we're starting to see Romo settling into this game just a bit.
Romo over the middle, hits Witten. He gets tackled at the 28-yard line by Spencer Paysinger. And the play calling now this year, Bill Callahan calling the plays. Garrett's been the play caller for a number of years now, and when he was the head coach, he was still calling the plays. Now he just concentrates on the whole game, and Bill Callahan calls the plays and sends it down to that man, Wade Wilson, who then calls it into Tony's helmet. Second and 5. Cutting it back and picking up another yard is DeMarco Murray. Mike Patterson, former Eagle, makes the tackle. It'll be 3rd down and 4 for the Cowboys.
Well, one of the things the Cowboys felt like they didn't do very well last year was the speed of their play calling. They wanted to accelerate it, so they go to the armband system now. So instead of calling the entire play down to Wade Wilson from the booth, who has to call the entire play to Tony Romo, they go a number, Romo calls the play, and here we go. A little bit more time on the clock to take a look.
You need 20/10 eyesight to read that thing.
You and I would.
Forget about it.
Forget about it.
3rd and 4. Romo swings it to the outside. Austin makes his 5th catch of the game and has enough before Thomas bounces him out of bounds for a first down.
Well, Austin's going to pick up the first down, but a pretty good story here. And Terrell Thompson coming back from his 3rd knee surgery. He was such a player, led them in interceptions and tackles a couple of years in a row, but then missed the last 2 years, both with knee surgeries, and here he is out playing again. There just aren't many guys that could overcome that number of surgeries, but he has worked his way back, and congratulations to him.
First game in almost 3 years. 1st and 10. For the 22, and that's knocked down. And, well, you speak about him, and there he is on cue.
Yeah. Kind of interesting because Romo pointed right at him prior to the snap. I think he saw it coming, didn't surprise him. And Thomas almost had a pick 6. I've seen guys catch that one and just take off. Actually, we saw JPP catch that one last year, wasn't it?
And going for a touchdown. Giants led last year here 23-0. The Cowboys then scored 24 straight points. But the Giants rallied to win the game, and then Bryant had a fingertip out of bounds at the end to cost Dallas a dramatic miracle win. Murray to the 20-yard line. 3rd and 8. Three turnovers for the Giants, but Dallas only able to capitalize to the extent that they got a field goal. So the Giants very fortunate to be in this position right now. Tom Coughlin watching his defense trying to hold the Cowboys from the 20 on the 3rd down and 8. They split Murray wide to the left. They go 5 wide on 3rd and 8. Giants rush 3. They had 8 back defending, and the pass is incomplete. Austin and Whitner both there, and it's 4th down. So once again, the Cowboys bogged down. 4th down.
It's just a little sloppy right now, and you know, Tom Coughlin made the point the other day about we have so few practices now. It used to be you had all these 2-a-days, and you know, you got in 40 or 50 practices before your first game. But now, because of some of the limitations put in the collective bargaining agreement, you're seeing some sloppy play on opening day.
Dan Bailey, a 38-yard field goal attempt, and that gives Dallas the lead. 10:02 to play in the opening half. 6-3 Cowboys. Sunday Night Football being brought to you by Subway, home of the famous $5 footlong. By Mercedes-Benz, experience truly great engineering today at your authorized dealer. By Frost Brewed Coors Light, the game's most refreshing beer. And by Calvin & Johnson, brought to you by Nike Football. AT&T Stadium, put over 100,000 in here. A dream of Jerry Jones for many, many years, and he finally got it done. George Strait, one of his favorite entertainers, not just Jerry, but a lot of people's favorite, looking on from Jerry's box as the kickoff is fielded about 6 yards in the end zone. Here comes the rookie Michael Cox. And he gets banged down at the 19-yard line by Dwayne Harris. Doing a good job on special teams. Giants have the ball, down by 3.
Fun little feature for you. NBC at 360. I'll show you exactly what went wrong on that last play for the Cowboys. Jason Witten and Miles Austin going to end up in essentially the same spot. Here they are right in the middle of the field. And when you run essentially the same pattern, there's just too many defenders there. And really no chance for Tony Romo to put it in there.
And so they had to settle for 3. It's a great little new feature. That's cool.
Awesome?
Very cool. From the 19-yard line, 1st and 10. They get a flag because David Wilson had Hanowski moving forward at the start of the play. Some miscommunication for the Giants. Tony Correnti.
Offense or legal shift offense. 2 players in the backfield moving at the same time. Never reset prior to the snap. 5-yard penalty remains 1st down.
Giants are the first team to start a season with a turnover on its first 3 drives. You go back to the 05 Vikings, so that's 8 years ago when they started the season. Dante Culpepper with an interception and a couple of sack fumbles. And that's the way it began, but the Giants are still only down by 3. 1st and 15 with 9.5 to go to the half. And Manning throwing into double coverage and incomplete. Victor Cruz, the intended receiver.
They are just unsettled. Here are the turnovers, and the Giants have really had opportunities. The first one looks ridiculous when you're watching it. I was like, I just throw it to DeMarcus Ware, and we've seen this act before as well as the Cowboys show off their new ability to strip the football, and Will Allen's going to come up with the last gift, and all those plays pretty poorly done. And right now, the time of possession is really lopsided in favor of the Cowboys. The Giants defense needs a little rest, so the Giants need a 1st down.
Cowboys have had the ball almost 15 minutes, and the Giants at 5.5. 2nd and 15. They just do get the play off. And there's nothing there on the left side. Sean Lee, among others, coming in there to to make the stop, and he's such a big part of that defense. He missed most of last year with a toe injury.
One of the hard things about the Cowboys is it's hard to get your hat on all three of those linebackers. It's called an over defense. So there's three linebackers stacked behind four defensive linemen. So you may get the first one, you may get the second, but a lot of times it's the third one that ends up catching you.
3rd and 14. Giants have to get to the 29 to convert. And Eli, well, he's their leading rusher, at least at the moment, career-wise. Looking for a flag for a late hit. Hatcher came in to get him out of the backfield. He's short of the first down by 4 yards. In comes the punting unit.
Here's Jason Hatcher right here working against James Brewer in his first start. The Giants were really hoping by formation to keep Hatcher off of him. Unfortunately, they have not been able to do it, and you can see why they were so adamant about trying to make sure that that one doesn't happen too often.
Steve Weatherford is the punter. His first boot of the night is a good one. And Harris has to back all the way up, fielding at the 16-yard line. And brings the ball out to the 27, where Romo and his group will take over. 7:52 to the half, 6-3, Dallas. Well, he's helping us find the criminals we don't even know about. Can we trust them? James Spader stars in The Blacklist Monday starting September the 23rd on NBC. It's the Margaret Hunt Hill Bridge spanning the Trinity River near downtown Dallas as we come back to AT&T Stadium. And the pass to the outside is caught by Miles Austin. Miles Austin, the #1 Romo target tonight, is now caught a half dozen. And the Cowboys are going to go hurry up here for the first time on 2nd down and 4 from the 35-yard line. Well, sort of hurry up.
Yeah, we were didn't want to miss that play, so we just let it come back.
Right. Philip Tanner is now in the backfield. Romo got him up to the line, so the Giants couldn't make any defensive switches. And that pass is caught on a slant, and that's taken in by Des Bryant. His second reception of the night, and it's good enough for a Dallas first down at the 40. And Romo again, no huddle.
Yeah, and you can tell because the pressure is starting to get it there up the middle and in Romo's face, so he's having to get the ball out quicker and quicker now. And as that happens, you're going to see these corners and safeties start to cheat down a little and try and jump some of those slants he's been hitting.
A movement on the left side of the Giants line, and was it caused by Philip Tanner of the Cowboys is the question.
Looked like Jason Witten moved.
Offense, number 82. 5-yard penalty remains first down.
Caused by Jason Witten with the false start. 1st and 15. Jason Garrett played with both of these teams as a backup with the Cowboys, has 3 Super Bowl rings, and spent 3 or 4 seasons in New York with the Giants before starting his coaching career. Romo has to dump it off underneath, and that is Tanner, the backup to Murray, tackled there by Paysinger with 6 minutes to play in the half.
Well, here comes the man around the edge, but so far tonight, the man has been Tyron Smith. That has been a matchup the Cowboys have consistently lost in the past.
They get to Tanner again. And Tanner loses the ball, and the Cowboys have recovered alertly because Tanner coughing it up. And it's Gavin Escobar, the rookie out of San Diego State, who's able to save it.
One of the problems with trying to fight for extra yardage, and you give Tanner credit, he's a tough kid trying to battle his way, but Dan Connor got the initial hit, and then all of a sudden here comes the troops. The defensive line for the Giants really hustling.
And Connor on one knee. Looking down from the roof of AT&T Stadium here in Arlington. That board 60 yards long from the 20 to the 20. After the injury timeout, Mark Herzlich comes in now to play the middle linebacker spot with Conner out. And on 3rd and 4, Romo throws. Witten makes the catch, and forward progress should net him the first down, and will at the Giant 48-yard line. And Romo will come up to the line, and there, of course, is the main man for him. That's the security blanket, and he has been for years.
You've got Cullen Jenkins down in the backfield, and I think Jason Witten is saying, oh, come on, just when we start to get our hurry-up offense going, and they've been out there for a long time. He's saying he's faking it. He is faking it. And the official says, what do you want me to do about it? You know, I don't have a lie detector with me. But that's what happens in the NFL sometimes.
Don't we know it? Injury timeout, in a manner of speaking. Tony Romo, you look at his home performance last year, first 3 games, not very good. 10 interceptions. Over the last 5, he threw only 2. In each of the last 7 home games, he had 300 passing yards, second longest streak in history to Kurt Warner. And in passing yards, that's 8 games, 2,841 yards. So he was able to light it up. But tonight, so far, he's averaging less than 5 yards per attempt, and gives it to Murray, who takes the ball to the 46-yard line, tripped up there by Roll. It'll be 2nd down and 9.
It's so difficult for this Giants defense because of the injuries to Stevie Brown, the suspension of Will Hill. They really like Montrell Roll around that line of scrimmage, but they don't really want Monday playing back in center field, so they're kind of caught between.
And Romo, look out from behind. He's able to get the ball away. It's caught by DeMarco Murray. And Murray is able to pick up a first down. DeMarco Murray, good, tough running. Saw the sideline marker, got there, has it at the 36-yard line. Kiwanuka did the chasing on the play, 11-yard gain.
In the shotgun formation, it's much easier for the quarterback to slide away from pressure. That time, Kiwanuka with good pressure, but Romo felt it, moved just enough to be able to get that one off.
And Romo, his shoulder shake, and then wide open is Witten to the 15-yard line.
There you go, Travis Frederick. You just paid for yourself at center, number 1 pick. Look at the protection. Romo, when you give him time to step up into the pocket, Doug Free on the outside has to take a half his pay cut. But Romo now is able to do a few things moving within that pocket, and that's when they start running.
1st and 10 after a 21-yard gain. Romo to the end zone, and it is caught. Jason Witten for the touchdown. So Witten for 21 yards on the prior play, and now 15 and 6 points.
Right there is Mark Herzlich. He is not the better of the cover corners, of the cover linebackers, excuse me. Dan Conner's the guy they would like to have in that situation. Obviously, first game of the season, you're substituting a lot. I think Tony Romo saw Mark Herzlich out there, went right after him.
And Dan Bailey for the point after. So the first touchdown of the game belongs to the Dallas Cowboys. It comes with a little less than 3 minutes remaining in the opening half, and Dallas now leads 13-3.
This play is almost unfair for a linebacker because he has pretty good coverage, but that little nudge away and back shoulder throw, just don't know how you defend that on a consistent basis. Doug Free there got some help. JPP beat him inside, but Bernardo there to clean it up.
Six catches for Witten tonight, and we check in with Michelle.
Well, Dan Connor was not in there on that play because the linebacker right now is questionable. The Giants are calling it a burner. They tested his strength. They manipulated his neck, looked at that neck, examined it. But since he has come to the bench, Al, he has not moved. His helmet is not on. He has shown no signs of returning, but the official is he's questionable.
Thank you, Michelle. And you can see right there just shaking his head. Not looking good for Connor, who comes over to the Giants after spending last season with the Cowboys.
Really felt like the move of him inside to a 4-3 middle linebacker would help him. But right now it looks like it's going to be on Mark Hertzler.
And Bailey's kick results in a touchback.
All right, a little NBC at 360. Here we go. I love this thing. Right in the middle of the screen. There you go. There's the point of interest. Hertzler really in perfect position, that Jason Witten knows exactly where Tony Romo is going to throw this to his back shoulder. Get a little nudge, no call, and for Eli Manning, time to get it going. This has been a sleepy first half for this Giants offense.
Manning is 3 out of 9 for 81 yards and 2 interceptions. And then the Giants have to spend a timeout. In this place, I mean, Eli loves it here. He's 4-0 in this stadium, which opened in 2009. Only quarterback in the history of the league to win 4 straight games on the road against the Cowboys. Miserable start, of course, tonight. The Giants turning it over on their first 3 possessions. Roof closed here. Temperatures in the mid-90s in the Metroplex today, but very comfortable 70 degrees inside.
Now they're getting some man coverage. They're just not winning the battles on the outside. They were picking on Morris Claiborne in the early part of this game, but they kind of went away from that.
Well, there's a big gainer against Claiborne, and now a flag is thrown, so he had a timeout. Ferentz says full start.
Offense, number 65. 5-yard penalty remains first down.
Will Beatty, the left tackle.
You'd like to blame that on crowd noise, but the crowd really wasn't into the game at that point. They just blew another one. And so this is not the first time on first down they've had a cheap little motion penalty or something. Really a poor start.
The Giants out of sorts right now. 95 total yards in the first half, and that'll get them started maybe as the catch is made by Hakeem Nicks, who takes it to the 29-yard line, so they get 14 yards on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 1. That's his second catch. The other one tonight went for 57 as he beat Claiborne inside.
Right. I mean, that's where they had success. They come out the first couple of drives, bang, 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 right over Morris Claiborne with the bad knee, get completely away from it, and paid the price for it.
Inside handoff to Wilson, and Wilson will try to back his way for a first down, and we'll see where they'll spot the ball. Nick Hayden is able to make the tackle. And it is a first down as the ball will be spotted right at the 30-yard line. Clock ticking down to the 2-minute warning.
And this defensive line of the Cowboys is so thin, but the Giants can't keep them on the field long enough to wear them out.
Last play before the 2-minute warning. Eli able to slide away, and then getting free is Victor Cruz. And Cruz goes all the way in for the touchdown. So the Giants, who a moment ago were totally out of sorts, it's a 70-yarder. You got the salsa going on in the end zone, and the Giants right back in it.
Will Allen was completely lost on that play. He's got his arms in the air. He has no idea what the call is. Apparently, it was a quarters call, which means he would have Cruz all the way. Claiborne was not anticipating that he was going to be the one that has it. And a blown coverage, almost a perfect first half defensively for the Cowboys. And they blow it when they got the Giants on their heels.
And they also had the other safety, Barry Church, who was out of the game on the bench, and J.J. Wilcox was in at the other safety spot. A backup. Low snap, but able to get it down was Weatherford in position for Josh Brown. 13-10 Dallas with 1:50 to the half. Well, Barry Church was out on that particular play, and there's that secondary on the sideline going over what happened.
I don't think so.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think that's a strategy meeting.
A prayer session.
I think so, yeah.
Please don't scream at us. And a touchback here as the Cowboys will take it at the 20. Coming up on the Toyota halftime show, the 49ers beat the Packers. What about the Steelers? They lose to Tennessee. Bob and Hines will break down the first half. All coming up on the Toyota halftime. Aerial coverage tonight being brought to you by Geico. AT&T Stadium, Arlington, Texas. About a 35-minute drive from downtown Dallas. About the same from Fort Worth. 1:50 to the half. Dallas with 2 timeouts. Start from the 20. Romo was 20 of 27 for 161 yards. Start to the outside, Murray, and he'll get ridden out of bounds by Pasinger. And we go back to the Cruz TD.
You'll see a lot of confusion. Pre-snap, not set. Going to get a blitz off the edge, so there's no way these two guys aren't playing man coverage, and yet neither one of them are covered. They're both wide open on the play. And anytime you see two guys staring at each other, you know the communication just broke down.
Romo on 2nd and 10. He's going to get the first down as Miles Austin picks up 11 yards and goes out of bounds at the 31-yard line. Miles Austin has now caught 7 passes tonight for 55 yards.
And Miles Austin at his best is tremendous getting in and out of cuts because of some of those leg pulls and things he's been enduring over the past couple years. He hasn't been nearly as strong. Usually a great run after the catch kind of guy, but we haven't seen that lately. A little better tonight.
Romo caught again by Miles Austin for a gain of 6. Clock down to 1.5 minutes and still going. Cowboys 2 timeouts.
And I think they like that matchup. They're going after Terrell Thomas and the surgically repaired knees and probably a little rust. Hasn't played in a couple years.
57.
So the coverage on the outside. Here we go.
4. And this is Terrence Williams, who had the earlier gaffe on the blown pattern that resulted in an interception. And Amukamara goes down, and Mundy is also down. The Giants, the two of them coming together, so both down on the field.
Yeah, just friendly fire. We've been seeing it a lot here. A little inside cut by Williams. He ducks, and they drill each other. Nothing you can legislate out of the game about that. Luckiest guy right now is Terrence Williams. He got the heck out of there. Monday, of course, a guy that sort of sat on the bench watching 2 great safeties in Pittsburgh, Troy Polamalu and Ryan Clark, play, and he just wanted an opportunity. Then Stevie Brown, who had 10 turnovers for this Giants team a year ago, injured his knee, and there he is out there with the starters.
Will Allen, a former Steeler as well, playing on the other side. He's been involved in the good and the bad in this game.
That was good for Terrence Williams, too, to make that play. They left him alone one-on-one coverage with Amukamara, and Romo had the confidence to come back to him after that disaster on that long interception.
Now you got Aaron Ross, the once and present Giant, back with New York. Terrell Thomas comes in as the Giants have to replace those 2 defensive backs at least for 1 play with 61 seconds to go in the half.
Boy, and they are really shuffling some people right now. They don't even have 11 guys on the field.
They only had 10, and trying to call the timeout. Webster tried to call the timeout and didn't get it. And Romo will throw. They got the 11th guy, and then it's dropped by Terrence Williams. So the Giants confused, Flag is down. Only at 10 guys, and 11th runs on at the very end of the play. Cooper Taylor.
Offense, number 65. 10-yard penalty. Repeat. First down.
And the Giants get away with it because Ronald Leary with the hold.
Well, Cooper Taylor knew that something was up, and yet they were waving him off the field. Then he had to come off late. Number 30 backing up, so it should have been a huge play for the Cowboys. Instead, they get the holding call, and they go the other way. That was a real turn of events right there, and a turn of the head, too, before the ball got there.
All set up by the fact the Giants had to replace 2 guys at once, but they get away with it. Get a Cowboy penalty in addition. 1st and 20. And Romo will send it down to Murray. Will try to cut it back, but not for very much to the 36-yard line. And now will the Giants take a timeout? And they do, just before a second down and 19. Quarterback comparison tonight. Eli, of course, started the game with an interception seconds into the game. He's only thrown 11 balls, but he had that 70-yarder to go with the 2 picks. And then Romo has thrown the ball 32 times. And the pressure tonight, just 1 sack in the game, and that of Eli.
This game has been absolutely wild.
It's strange. I mean, odd. And you got all of the 3 turnovers, but the Giants able to escape a bullet. I mean, they could have been not blown out, but I mean, playing from behind the whole game. Were able to tie it at 3, fell behind by 10, get the big Cruz play, and now it's 2nd and 20, and they're trying to get the ball back before halftime. And Romo hanging in with the blitz and then throws, and that pass is incomplete. Trying to go to Terrence Williams. 3rd down. Here's Michelle, and Romo goes down. Tony Romo writhing on the turf. Ooh. Well, Romo, the blitz got hit just as he throws, and here it is.
For an injury.
It's a double rib shot with Kiwanuka coming in 2nd.
The incomplete pass for the injury.
Generally, they have on
3rd and final timeout.
Those rib protectors. And after you've paid your quarterback over $100 million, the last thing in the world you want to see is him lying out there on the turf. But Kyle Orton, in his 1 appearance last year, did pretty well. But this is news.
Well, that's Justin Trotteau who got in there. Orton, a veteran, one-time starter with the Chicago Bears. Ton of experience, but he gets double whammy there. Trotteau and Kiwanuka. And because of the injury there, the Cowboys are forced to use their final timeout. So Romo will have to come out at least for 1 play under the circumstances when you get hurt and the clock stops. Candace Romo, his wife, looking on, obviously with concern here, and everybody in the stadium, every Cowboy fan with concern. And a look at Cowboy owner Jerry Jones.
Watch Jaquan Williams come take out Doug Free, and that's what set up the pressure. Just knock him completely off his feet. Murray unable to hang in there, and Tony Romo pays the price.
3rd down and 20 now, and Orton comes in and hands the ball off to Murray, who slips and slides. Flag is down with 32 seconds. Tony Correnti signaling the penalty is against the Cowboys.
Holding. Offense number 82. This penalty is declined. The result of the play, 4th down.
All the Giants want is the ball back. And of course we will get, as soon as we can, a report on Tony Romo. And of course the Cowboy owner Jerry Jones looked like a guy who just saw his portfolio go down 40% when the market opened. Here's Chris Jones to punt. The flag is thrown as Ruben Randall gets hogtied at the 43-yard line with 20 seconds.
I think the Giants are going to get called for a hold on the gunner, and that would be a big penalty because they had great field position. That's not a fair catch signal. That means get away, but you can still catch that one and run.
During the kick, holding receiving team number 38. The penalty will be enforced from the end of the kick, 10 yards, first down.
That is Trumaine McBride. Well, that's the big story right now. The health of number 9.
Boy, he is grimacing. That is, you know, you kind of hope that maybe he got the wind knocked out of him, but when you see him grimace like that, taking in a deep breath, that usually means more of a rib shot, but we'll hold on and find out.
So the Giants get the ball back, but in a position here where they're just going to take a knee and end the first half. So a strange, sort of bizarre half. Begins with 3 Giant turnovers, ends with Romo's condition to be determined as we reach halftime in Arlington, Texas, with Dallas leading by a score of 13-10. Coming up next, it's the halftime show, but first a special preview of the new NBC show Million Second Quiz with Ryan Seacrest. Well, we're back at AT&T Stadium in Arlington. Tony Romo is out on the field, as you can see. He is warming up, but clearly he is in some distress. We've been watching him for the last couple of minutes. They say he just had the wind knocked out of him. We'll see. But remember, in San Francisco a couple of years ago, rib injury, came back, won the game in overtime.
We know he's a tough guy. We certainly do. But let's take one more look at how this happened with the Burger King inside edge. Big stun up the middle. They knocked Doug Free off the block. And Justin Trattoh and Matthias Kiwanuka are going to combine on one of those boom-boom kind of hits. And for Tony Romo, as we watched him trying to throw on the sideline, it was pretty clear that he was in pain. Now, they say he got the wind knocked out of him. I don't know. Burger King inside edge.
Well, we'll have to wait and see. It won't be long until we find out if he can play, how long he can play. Little fist bump there, indicating that he is going to come back in. After they get the ball, Dwayne Harris is back to receive. Tony's still trying to work through it. 33 passes in the half. 33 most by him in the first half of any game. So we'll see what he does when he comes back out, as the Cowboys will get the second half kickoff in a game in which they lead by 3, and he'll take the ball at the 20-yard line. And let's go to Michelle.
Well, Jerry Jones Sr., Jerry Jones Jr., Stephen Jones, they all converged on the Dallas Cowboys locker room to check on the status of Tony Romo. When Jerry Jones Sr. came out, he told me he's looking good. Jason Garrett came out and said there are no structural issues. He had the wind knocked out of him. He is going to start. Now, for the Giants, Prince Amukamara is out with a concussion. Ryan Mundy passed his concussion test, and he is able to return, guys.
Well, a lot going on. Thank you, Michelle. And we're going to watch for Romo right now, who checks out the wristband. He's got index cards. He's got everything going on here.
He even got the card knocked out of his wristband.
Aaron Ross is going to take over and play in Amara's spot for the rest of the game as the Cowboys start from the 20-yard line. And it was figured they're going to keep the ball on the ground, at least until Tony can prove to himself and everybody else that he is ready to go. Mike Patterson is there to make the stop. It's a loss of 1 on Murray, second down and 11.
I'll tell you what, Mike Patterson just knocked Ronald Leary right back into the running back on that one. He was on ice skates, and you know they want to try and run the football now. They always have wanted to try and get that going, but with a banged up quarterback, it sure would be nice to get that running game going. They're blocked better than that, though.
Murray 11 carries tonight for 43 yards.
180.
Romo out of the pistol from the 19-yard line. And a 4-yard gain for Murray. It'll be 3rd down and 7. The numbers through the first 30 minutes of competition. Neither team able to run the ball. Long passing play, one of them for the Giants. The bulk of that 155. And the time of possession, all Dallas.
You take away that one play, and the Giants really did nothing in the first half.
Right.
So Monty Kiffin's defense for the Cowboys got the job done. One blown assignment to keep this game close.
All right, 3rd down and 7 in a situation where we're going to see what Tony's throwing motion is like. The deep drop, surveying, able to shoulder shake and pump fake and then go deep, but a little short, intended for Dez Bryant, and you got a penalty flag down. No, sorry about that. Tony went down after the throw.
Little in and up as all kinds of companies surrounds Dez Bryant. They do not want this guy to beat them. They think he's one of the best receivers that they've faced. Romo tried to launch it out there, and you could see him flinch away from that one. You kind of know when those ribs are hurting, when somebody's coming at him, and you can't help but just draw that arm down a bit.
Chris Jones, the left-footed punter, sends it to the 21-yard line. Ruben Randall, and that's Harris, who's been on almost every special teams tackle tonight, is the first man to get him. So Eli will get the ball just inside the 30-yard line early in the second half. Coach and quarterback have now been together for a decade. 3 NFC East titles. Of course, 2 Super Bowl wins. 8-3 in postseason. 07 and 11, the Super Bowl championships. Coughlin with 83 wins in his 10th year, and Manning with the most touchdown passes in team history.
55. What else?
Steve Owen would be #1 on the coaching list for the Giants. Coughlin #2 with his 2 Super Bowl wins. And Manning on first down is going to get sacked on first down, spun around and then taken down. Bruce Carter, who was hurt for a good part of last season, healthy again. He is a force from his outside linebacker spot.
So fast, goes right around Chris Nee, who really didn't have much of a chance to react to it. Bruce Carter's one of those athletes that if he ever really gets the big picture of a defense, he could do just about anything on the field. He and Sean Lee, very athletic linebackers for the Cowboys.
5-yard sack. Second sack of the night for the Cowboys. And an inside handoff as the Giants try to get something going on the ground. And Wilson gets taken down by Hayden, and the ball is loose, and that's Barry Church going to the end zone. So once again, the Giants lose the ball. Coughlin going, wait a minute, was at the end of the play. Let's see if he is down. But for the moment, it is Church, and obviously every scoring play, every turnover gets reviewed. Does the ball come out?
Recovered by Dallas.
Yes.
It does. Yep. They'll review it, but they'll confirm it. So Wilson loses the ball again, and Barry Church makes another big play.
Ball is out, and it's loose, and they did not blow the whistle. And nobody on the ground picked it up. Should be a touchdown.
He was laying on top of Hayden, but that doesn't count. That's not part of the ground for him. On top of the player, and Barry Church is able to take it in. And Tony, it might be too painful to smile.
You cannot emphasize enough what Monty Kiffin has done, creating turnovers for this Dallas defense that weren't there a year ago. They practice it all the time, and it's showing up in this first game.
Turnover confirmed, scoring play confirmed. Extra point by Bailey is good. 4 turnovers for the Giants, and the Cowboys cash in on #4. Well, Monty Kiffin comes in as the defensive coordinator, and we've been talking about it through the game. Rod Marinelli also comes in. They were together in Tampa Bay for a number of years. Tony Dungy's staff going back to the 90s. 12 turnovers all of last year, 4 already tonight in a little bit more than 2 quarters. Kick is dropped in the end zone and then smothered there for a touchback, just barely. Check in with the show.
Well, Tom Coughlin told me at halftime he was going to tell his team that's the worst half of football I've ever seen in my life. We made a lot of mistakes. We have to settle in. And, guys, he said we have to protect Eli and get the run game going. And then what happens? Eli gets sacked, and David Wilson fumbles.
Well, and Tom has seen a lot of football, and he's not prone to exaggeration either.
Well, they're working on a worse second half, if that's possible.
Yep.
He may see the 2 worst halves of football he's ever seen.
Meanwhile, Darrell Scott is not going to be the running back, and that's Scott who picks up a couple of yards. Remember, Andre Brown got hurt, so he is on injured reserve. Sean Lee just made the last tackle. There's Wilson over on the bench, and Scott really made the team because of the injury to Brown and his performance in the last preseason game against New England.
Yeah, this is a case for Tom Coughlin. What do I do? I mean, Darrell Scott should not be the starting running back for the New York Giants, but you can't give it back to David Wilson after what he's done. Andre Brown's gone, and Michael Cox is a rookie, and that's it.
And Ahmad Bradshaw went to Indianapolis, 2nd down and 7. And they give the ball again to Scott for no gain. It'll be 3rd down.
Here's Landon Cohen, a guy who really only because of the fact that they've got so many injuries is getting an opportunity. But this defensive line, in part because they haven't been on the field very much, they're flying around. Rod Marinelli would be proud of this effort.
Cohen, a guy out of football last year, just 1 game in the last 2 years. Eli stepping away and then throws and is able to complete the ball to Hakeem Nicks out to the 38-yard line. So he almost gets sacked, steps away, and finds Nicks for a 15-yard gain. And Hakeem now with 3 catches for 86 tonight.
The defenders for the Cowboys are so frustrated at their inability to get to Eli Manning. Over the years, he has escaped and made more plays for a guy who really is not that athletic than maybe anybody in the history of the league. And especially against the Dallas Cowboys, and especially in this building.
And what about the New England Patriots? Don't they know that all too well?
Sure do.
On the David Tyree play. Victor Cruz to the 43-yard line. Well, the big guy in that Cowboy defense, Sean Lee right there, number 50, suffered a toe injury early in the season last year, missed the last 10 games of the year out of Penn State. He's the middle guy now in the 4-3, 4th year, drafted in the 2nd round. High school running back, said it helps him play linebacker.
Same difference. You're trying to find the hole either from the offensive side or the defensive side.
2nd and 5. Scott, a yard shy of the 1st down. They'll place the ball at the 47-yard line. Church and Lee make the hit, 3rd and 1, and all Wilson can do is keep the helmet on and hope he gets back in the game.
I mean, it's just humiliating for one. I mean, you're on national television, and last time you played them last year, it ruined your whole season. The coach sat you on the bench, and what do you do in week 1 the next year? Come out and fumble it twice, 1 for a touchdown.
As the number 1 back and not as the number 2 back. And now Scott tries to get the 1st down behind a Hynoski block. But you can see the line judge coming in, and he's not going to put the ball far enough forward. Even though Tony Correnti is now signaling they want to take a closer look at it.
It's all about gap defense. When Monty Kiffin brings the defense in, they're going to have every single gap covered. The linebackers, if a defensive lineman goes inside, the linebackers cover outside. But there is an intensity to the Dallas Cowboys defensively now that they're healthy, they're fresh. They played well at the beginning of last year, actually put up really good numbers, but it all fell apart as the injuries started to mount at the end.
And they know they've got to pick it up because they've got a quarterback who right now is, for the moment, sort of okay, but who knows?
Doesn't get much worse than that for a running back. Finally get the starting job. Saw him in preseason, broke off an 84-yarder against the Jets, and just so explosive. Sean Lee telling us he's our number 1 guy we have to stop. Well, they did.
Weatherford to punt. And Dwayne Harris ready to run it back. And he's going to let it bound at the 1-yard line and go into the end zone. So Romo comes out again from the 20 this time, 8.5 to go. The Cowboys are up by 10 points. Guests on the Tonight Show this week include Charlie Sheen, Zoe Deschanel, Martin Short, and Hugh Jackman. The Tonight Show here on NBC. From the 20-yard line, first down, the Cowboys up by 10. And Romo off play action, good protection, slings it into a lot of traffic and incomplete, intended for Dez Bryant, and nothing but a bunch of blue shirts headed by Corey Webster around him.
3 tight end formation, trying to give that run look, and they're really trying to squeeze this thing into Dez Bryant, thrown a little bit behind him for Corey Webster, though. It's a good sign. Corey had a really tough year last year, gave up a lot of big plays, but he's been given the toughest assignment out here. He's had Dez a lot tonight.
Murray, 13 carries tonight for 47 yards. Third down and 10.
Tony Romo on that last throw. Let's take a look at him. Well, not the grimace we saw in coming out in the second half.
A wince. Third and 10. He's sliding left, finding time, and finding Terrence Williams, and this time he holds on up at the 44-yard line. So a big 3rd and 10 completion. And the Cowboys are going to go without a huddle.
Well, if Terrence Williams can be that next guy, because obviously paying so much attention to Witten and Dez Bryant getting double covered on almost every play in this game. Miles Austin's done well. The spots on the field that are open are available to Terrence Williams on those crossing routes. He's missed a couple earlier in the game, made that one.
It's no huddle slowdown as the Giants were able to make all the changes they needed. After a 3rd and 10, it's first down at the 43-yard line. Murray still trying to break one, as long as carry tonight 11 yards, a penalty on the play. And the call coming from Tony Correnti.
Holding, offense, number 77. 10-yard penalty, repeat, first down.
It's the left tackle. It's Tyron Smith.
Well, you really hate to see one that far away from the play. They're starting to do a lot of these zone runs now under Bill Callahan, where essentially the offensive linemen just fly out to the right-hand side, and then the running back, in this case Murray, just picks whichever hole he likes. It's kind of a new thing for the Cowboys.
And you've got Jason Pierre-Paul.
The enforcement of the penalty is correct. It was from the spot of the foul as the run ended beyond the line of scrimmage.
They talk about the penalty on the field. Meanwhile, remember, you're looking at a guy who had back surgery about 12 weeks ago.
But he is definitely pointing to that left shoulder right now.
1st and 17 after they respot the ball, and the pass to Harris is errant. 2nd down and long.
It's been a tough go here lately for Jason Pierre-Paul. Every time he starts to get something else going, come back with another injury. It is tough to miss as much training camp as he's missed, and they practice so little in training camp anymore. May not quite be in football shape yet, and take a shot on that shoulder.
2nd and 17. And Romo hit as he throws, but he gets it off to Austin. And that'll put him in about 3rd and 10 range. Linval Joseph burst through the offensive line and got to Tony as he released.
That's really the best of Tony Romo right there. He has such a quick release. I think, if not the quickest, one of the quickest in the game, so he can hold the ball a little longer and then just give it that little flick when he's under pressure and not take the sack.
From the 43 now. 3rd down and 10. the sideline and knocked down. And the crowd looks for a flag. Aaron Ross was draped over Des Bryant, but it's legal. Not according to Garrett, it's not. Fourth down.
Not very often do you see a defensive back go over the top and knock a ball away and not get a call. Referee feeling like he went around him, and I'm not sure that he did hit him. He kind of jumped over the top of him. Got a hand in there. I kind of like the no call. Nobody else did.
Jones's kick is a wobbly short kick that winds up being a live ball inside the 20-yard line, and the Cowboys run away thinking they've come up with it. So Jones with a short and very wobbly kick that winds up being another turnover. Tremaine McBride is the guy, and that's going to be number 5.
Tremaine McBride just trying to do his job, and the ball glances off, and then it's a live ball. Everybody scrambles for it. And I tell you, if Tom Coughlin thought the first half was bad, he may not make it through the second half.
Well, McBride lost not only his bearings there, but the punt was so short, and he's not looking up to see where the punt is, and then all of a sudden it winds up going off of him, and that's 5 turnovers for the Giants tonight.
Well, I used to be a punt returner, and I can tell you, when you're not going to be able to field it, your job is to make sure everybody knows to get away from it. You yell fire, you yell whatever the key word is, get away from the thing. And for whatever reason, that was never signaled to Tremaine McBride.
So they check upstairs. They want upstairs. Look upstairs as they do with all turnovers. Who did hit first? It's under review right now upstairs.
It definitely hit McBride.
Right. They're checking. Tony Correnti to make the call. We think it stands, and the Cowboys will get the ball. Correnti to make it official.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field will stand as Dallas's football, first down.
Well, it's pretty simple. If it touches a Giant first, it's alive, and it does. As you can see, it goes off the bicep here of McBride, even though Harris is right in the picture, and it almost grazes him, but it doesn't. And then Holloman makes the fumble recovery. Devontae Holloman, and Dallas has the ball at the 16.
If it had hit Harris, it would have been the other rule.
Romo throwing. Harris makes the catch. And he's going to have a first down and set up a first down and goal.
It's really been run, run, run so far, and then they sneak Harris across the formation, coming back this way on the bootleg, and nobody picks him up. Lucky for the Giants, that wasn't a touchdown.
Pierre Paul is back in the game. We saw him in agony on the sideline. Back for the Giants. 5:20 to go in the third, and it's a first and goal at the 4-yard line.
It's a rare time that Des Bryant, Roll's going to sneak over there. They're still going to double him.
Austin Moshe, you got 3 receivers to the left. Romo going there. Now he's going to go the other way. Now over the middle, and it is caught for a touchdown by Jason Witten. I mean, that's the Cowboys. You look left, you look right, you go over the middle, and who are you going to find? 82.
Yeah, well, I'm going to give 5 guys a game ball on this one. This offensive line, the only reason this works is because the offensive line blocked long enough for Romo to look left, look back at Des Bryant, come back and find Witten. Look at the protection. That allows Tony Romo to work his magic. Nobody else really gets credit for that one except those 5 guys up front.
And sooner or later, he was going to lose Ryan Mundy, and he did. The extra point is good, and the Dallas Cowboys are up by 17 against the Giants. Well, the Giants have had great management through the years. The Mara family, the Tisch family. There's John Mara. There's Steve Tisch. Not very happy, either of them right now, even though both have a couple of Lombardi trophies in their hip pocket, and Tom Coughlin telling Michelle Tafoya, and he summed it up perfectly, that's the worst half of football I've seen, and even worse in the second half. 7 yards in the end zone. Cox thinks about coming out and stops. Sunday Night Football from Arlington, Texas, brought to you by Madden NFL 25 in stores now. By Nissan, innovation for today, innovation for tomorrow, innovation that excites. By Burger King, where taste is king. And by DirecTV, if you call yourself a sports fan, you got to get DirecTV. Friday Night Lights, Texas high school football. South Lake Carroll beat Midland Lee 63-14. 1-1 on the season. South Lake Carroll 5 state championships at the 5A level. Love the high school football. And the Lone Star State as Manning throws and it's caught, and then Cruz slips after making the catch, but has enough for a first down out at the 35-yard line.
Well, for Des Bryant, hasn't been a good statistical night, but believe me, he's having an impact on the field because he has drawn the coverage all night long. And I think it's a good sign for this Cowboys offense that Tony Romo has been patient enough to not try and force it into Des Bryant, to trust the other guys to make plays, and that's how eventually you'll get Des Bryant open.
Fake to Scott. Manning eludes the sack. And that's Ruben Randall making the catch, and that's another New York first down.
If there's a guy on this Giants team that really could help the cause here, it's Ruben Randall. He has as much or more ability than any of these receivers. Right up here, and he is the speed threat. He's the guy, you can see Claiborne, he was really trying to back off of him, but he's the guy that could stretch the defense, and they desperately need him. He wasn't so good a season ago, but because of some of the injuries, he got a lot of playing time this offseason and really developed.
Claiborne knows him well, of course. They were teammates at LSU. And that is caught by Brandon Myers, the tight end. Inbound short gain, and Claiborne, who's missed all of preseason with a knee injury, was down on the turf and is still there. And there is Claiborne, the cornerback, just highlighted him going against Randall, makes the tackle here, and he is the man who needs the attention.
Just hard to tell. Did duck his head. You always hate to see that.
It's a 190-pound guy taking down a 260-pound guy, and so Claiborne, as I said, missed all of preseason with a knee injury, and now they're working obviously on the upper extremity as he goes to the bench at second down and 8.
The draft pick, B.W. Webb, comes in.
Webb is a rookie out of William and Mary, 4th round draft choice. Second down and 8.
And they're going to leave Webb right there and blitz him instead of covering.
And the pass is caught. Nice grab by Nix. Takes it away from Orlando Scandrick.
So right away, Eli goes to where Claiborne was. Scandrick's a good cover guy on the outside. He's their nickel guy, but it is a different position than what he's really used to playing. He did get some playing time, though, during the course of the preseason because of the knee injury to Claiborne. And he's up challenging again.
2:45 left in the third.
Apparently no help for Scandrick at the top.
High snap. Ball handed off to Scott. And Darrell Scott takes the ball to the 18-yard line for a first down, a pickup of 16 yards.
You talked about that last preseason game where Tom Coughlin was impressed by Darrell Scott coming right there, but it is the power with which he ran in that last game. That's what they'd been waiting to see, and watch him just lower his shoulder and deliver the blow.
DeMarcus Ware out for the moment. Kyle Wilbur is in. Manning throws, and that is incomplete. The coverage is very tight. Skandrick making sure Nix doesn't come down with it. 2nd and 10.
The one thing about playing the slot corner is you're in bump and run all the time. And so here you can see Skandrick. He's used to being in that position. Comes back underneath that slant route. Maybe Eli starts to think, well, maybe I'll go the other way. But I haven't seen one pass thrown. Well, one pass, the last one, to Brandon Carr's side. They basically stayed away from him all night.
Manning 11 of 18, 231.
There's the rookie right there. P.W. Webb.
Play clock down to 2 seconds. Eli hit from behind by George Selvey. Playing well tonight, and the pass is incomplete. It'll be 3rd down and 10.
George Selvey just hustling. He did this in a Hall of Fame game. He's just earned a job here. He was sitting on his couch, essentially. His training camps were about to open and thinking he just wasn't going to get a shot. Team Nix on the other side. Skandrick made a mistake, but there was safety help in behind it. So I think he would have been okay.
We're back in. Took a couple of plays off. Got a breather. 3rd and 10 now. Manning guns it over the middle and is caught, and reaching into the end zone for the touchdown is Victor Cruz. So he gets to do the dance for the 2nd time tonight. Will Allen was there, but he makes the catch outside the goal line and reaches over the stripe.
I tell you, you talk about the salsa dance and all the flair of Victor Cruz, but he's a tough guy. Watch this catch. He knows he's going to get whacked, and not only does he catch it, he has the presence to reach over and score the touchdown. That's what makes him valuable. Tough guy, can play in the slot. I like him.
Allen's helmet coming off as the play finishes. And the ball crosses the plane to make it, after the extra point by Brown, a 10-point game with 1:44 left in the 3rd. So the Giants trying to fight their way back in what has been a very ugly night for the New York Giants. Sunday night football night, NFC West. This is now developing into one of the great rivalries. It's San Francisco and Seattle. Football night starts at 7 Eastern time. Both teams winning today. 49ers win by 6 at Candlestick. Kaepernick, 412 yards. And Seattle was able to eke out a 12-7 win against Carolina. Defensive struggle. We had them last year toward the end of the year. You've got Kaepernick, you've got Wilson, and you've got 2 guys who are very exciting to watch, and 2 teams that a lot of people in their power polls have put 1 and 2.
Yeah, and playing in Seattle, I don't know about you, I think it's got to be the toughest place there is. The 12th man is a serious thing in that stadium. Very difficult to communicate, and we saw Seattle last night really take apart, or last year take apart San Francisco up there.
I mean, little doubt. I mean, even in the Metrodome where they used to pump the noise back in, they said they didn't, but they did. Seattle outside, still noisier.
I agree. I agree.
Meanwhile, they work on Claiborne as the Giants are able to capitalize on that last drive. And Dwayne Harris accepts it outside the end zone. So Romo goes to work again from the 20.
Last touchdown pass, a little NBC at 360. The touchdown to Jason Witten. Watch Romo. He's going to look left. He's going to look right for Des Bryant. Right there is Witten. Well, he was there for a second. As he circles back around, he's going to make a late move when he sees Romo in trouble. For the touchdown. Take you around the world to see some of these touchdowns with NBC 360.
Hey, double.
Romo going to work from the 20-yard line. And this is Murray. Nothing special tonight, but just chugging out yardage here and there, trying to give them some semblance of a ground game. Murray, we're looking at Wilson on the other side with the fumbles tonight. That's been Murray's issue, too. And Tom Coughlin used to say, Tiki Barber had to hold it high and tight. And the other day, Jason Garrett said the problem with DeMarco is sometimes he holds it low and loose. Not a good idea.
He got benched in preseason for holding one low and loose.
2nd and 6. That pass is caught and a first down. A flag is thrown. Des Bryant, for the moment, has given them a first down. Tony Corretti.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense number 97 with forcible contact below the knee to the quarterback. 15-yard penalty will be added to the end of the play. First down.
Linval Joseph hitting Romo.
Tough play. Joseph was stumbling coming through the gap here and actually got pushed into him. You could see Mackenzie Bernardo pushed him from the back, but there was the lunge at the end that they saw. So you're not allowed, obviously, to lunge towards the knees of the quarterback. And even though he was pushed, there was a bit of a lunge to try to get him. That was the correct call.
10 hits on Romo tonight. Tom Coughlin saying he can hit him 10 times. You normally win the game, but that's not the case right now. 5 hits, 5 knockdowns. Tony earning a good part of that 108 right now with what he has been through.
There's Des Bryant in the slot. That was something you didn't always see out of him in the past.
And a little swing pass to Murray. And Murray able to break a tackle and breaks a couple of more. And that's real tough running to get into Giants territory. And we check in with Michelle.
Well, Giants defense without Dan Connor right now. He's been downgraded to doubtful, still calling it a burner. Spencer Pasinger has gone to the locker room to get an IV for cramps. For the Cowboys, it's Morris Claiborne. It's a shoulder, left shoulder. They're going to try to get him to go back in. Right now, he's questionable, but they're doing everything they can to get him back into the game.
All right, thank you, Michelle. And that's going to take us to the end of the third quarter, with the Dallas Cowboys leading 27-17, and Sunday Night Football continues after these messages. And with a look at downtown Dallas, tonight's aerial coverage is being brought to you by Geico. Back to Arlington we come. Al Michaels, Chris Collinsworth, and Michelle Tafoya. Sunday Night Football. Tucked on the sideline for the moment. 2nd down and 6 for the Cowboys. Out of the pistol, they lead by 10. Toss to Murray. And Murray takes it to the 35-yard line. Tyron Smith got out in front and laid down the block to Springer.
Aren't many tackles this athletic as Tyron Smith. Been doing a great job all night long in pass protection against Jason Pierre-Paul, and here he's going to come out leading around. Looking a little like Larry Allen out in front of one of those.
Hall of Famer Larry Allen, who went in last month.
Nice block by Jason Witten as well. He's a receiving tight end that can also block.
Romo. Miles Austin. And Miles Austin to the 32, tackled by Roll.
One of the stars of the game as far as I'm concerned. Tyron Smith working on the outside against Jason Pierre-Paul. It's been a scramble all night long, as it usually is. Pierre-Paul known as one of the best blockers of passes in the game, so Tyron knocked him on his back. You can take care of that guy with one guy. All of a sudden, you can start helping some of your younger guys inside, and that's been a big difference.
2nd and 6. Murray again. You know, that offensive line, which was a big question mark for the Cowboys, would the guards work together? Could they find the right combination? There's Larry Allen, the Hall of Famer, the rookie Frederick. Romo tonight has thrown 44 passes, has not been sacked. And that's been an issue the last couple of years when Tony's been sacked 36 times in each of the last 2 seasons.
Well, Romo said to us, he said, if the last couple of years I felt pressure on 4 out of 5 pass attempts, I think now it's down to about 2 out of 5 pass attempts. And he was really excited about this season for that very reason. He thinks this is the first time they've had explosive players on the outside and good protection within that interior 3.
Next pass is complete, but short of the first down on the 3rd and 5. He hits Witten, but that'll make it 4th down. Ryan Mundy with the coverage.
Well, that time Jaquan Williams came on a blitz, so Witten was hot, and he's just going to turn around here. But Monday came up and reacted to it well enough to stop him short of the first down.
Now Dan Bailey will come out. They'll spot the ball at the 35. It'll be a 45-yard field goal attempt. In an attempt to make it a 13-point lead. Jones puts it down, and Bailey's kick is true from 45 with 12:10 to play in regulation. 30-17 Cowboys. Sunday Night Football being brought to you by Verizon. Never be without football with NFL Mobile. By Hyundai, new thinking, new possibilities. By Rush from director Ron Howard in theaters September the 27th. And by McDonald's. I'm loving it. Hot night in the Metroplex. The 90s for a few days now. Roof closed. 85,000 plus looking on. Cowboys have had the time of possession major advantage. Turnovers have been a huge story. Obviously tonight the Giants have committed 5. It's a 13-point game.
Go back to the last touchdown, NBC 360. You're going to see the tight end Brandon Myers coming over here, and Sean Lee in this Tampa 2 defense turns that way, which is going to open up the middle of the field for Victor Cruz without linebacker support. Good throw by Eli. In for the touchdown.
Call a personal foul on Cooper Taylor, the rookie from Richmond, with the touchback. So that backs the Giants up. Instead of at the 20, they'll start this drive from the 10. Middle of the screen here. I don't know. What do you think? What is that all about?
It was well after it was kicked out of the end zone, but that's just the hustle play.
Manning throws, and that is caught by Ruben Randall. So a good start to this drive as the Giants try to make it a one-possession game. Right now they're down by 13 points.
I can't tell you how significant that is that Ruben Randall's making plays. They're taking their 2 star receivers, Nix and Cruz, and putting them on the left. And Ruben Randall's overplaying on the right. And as long as he's getting one-on-one coverage, even though it's against Brandon Carr, their best cover guy, they're going to take their shot.
Well, they've gotten Claiborne back into the game after he injured the shoulder, and then the pass is caught, and that's Hakeem Nicks. And Nicks with another big play out to the 47-yard line.
Same exact thing. That time it's Hakeem Nicks with the one-on-one coverage. And so they're going to go to that single receiver side again. But watch the Dallas Cowboys all hustling back to the ball. These are defensive linemen flying 20 yards down the field. And that is the thing we've seen out of the Cowboys. They install effort. On the first day of practice, that's what they talk about, effort. And you're seeing it out here tonight.
Nicks took himself out of the game after that play, so Lewis Murphy comes in. Set wide to the right. Nicks on the sideline. Manning throws, and that is caught by Randall. And Randall will take it to the 31-yard line. So Manning, just like that, has taken his team from the 10 to the Dallas 31.
Exact same thing. This is 3 straight plays now. As long as they're going to overload the 2 receiver side over here, and this is one-on-one, they're just taking it. Good job by Eli recognizing what they're giving to him, and Randall has proven that he can win that battle.
Nicks comes back into the game. Over the middle. Caught. That's the tight end. That's Brandon Myers to the 19-yard line. So Eli making it look easy right now, as he's had the ball for 2 minutes, 20 yards, 17 yards, 22 yards, 13 yards.
Well,
4 plays.
They've been hitting so much of the stuff to the outside. That time Sean Lee tried to jump the slot receiver and left Myers wide open in the middle of the field.
And first down from the 18, and stopping the route that time was Nicks, covered by Brandon Carr, and the pass falls incomplete.
Well, that time they got the exact same look. Again, one-on-one coverage on the outside, but Nix, I'm not really sure what he was doing on that play, and Eli didn't have a clue either. He didn't know if he was going to take off or back shoulder, and so he just threw it out of bounds, I think.
He was fighting through a knee. He came out for a play, came back in, was hunched over in the huddle. 2nd down and 10. Meanwhile, Nix has 114 yards tonight, and Cruz 108, 70 on one play.
Blitz look. Eli is going to audible out of it. 2 linebackers up, and now Sean Lee turns around, taps his helmet, probably going to get out of it.
And with the play clock at 1, a little dump pass to Scott. Darrell Scott will take the ball to the 10-yard line, setting up a big 3rd down here with Bruce Carter making the tackle.
Had Carter and Sean Lee up in that blitz zone. So Eli audible. Sean Lee comes out of it and really sets up beautifully for the screen as they back out. Now the screen is a perfect play. Good job by Eli recognizing what was going on.
Big conversion coming up here. The Giants trying to make it a 1-possession game, which they would with a touchdown. A field goal would leave it as a 2-possession game. 9 minutes to play. It's 3rd and 2. Manning to the end zone, hold in, touchdown. Victor Cruz does it again. That's 3 touchdowns for Cruz tonight. This time he beats Scandrick.
The absolute hardest route to cover for a defensive back, in my opinion. A fade from the slot position, because you have so much room to the outside to make that play. Very, very difficult to make that. You saw Scandrick really lining up to the outside, trying to force Cruz back to the inside, fought through that outside technique. He is special. That's the reason he got all the big money. Took him a little while. They didn't pay him right away. Had to hold out and do some things, but he deserves it.
Heel injury about 3 weeks ago. He was a little iffy a few days ago, but ready to go tonight, I'll say. The hat trick. Starting this Thursday, the BMW Championship will determine the final 30 players who will advance for the FedEx Cup title. Coverage starts Thursday on the Golf Channel, continues Saturday and over the weekend right here on NBC. Terrence Williams is back to receive this kick, and he'll down it in the end zone. So Dallas up by 6. These teams play some wild games down here. Tonight, another example. And Carey waiting all day for a good Sunday night game. The Giants 4-0 in the stadium, but the Cowboys are 6-0 in season openers against the Giants, including a win last year. And then Romo has to just throw it away as Justin Tuck came in off play action. It'll be 2nd down.
29 was
in case you're worried about it, DeMarco Murray was right there, and Romo with the presence to just throw it right at his feet. Here's a little inside move by Justin Tuck, who has really been much more of a presence tonight than what he's been over the past couple of years.
2nd and 10. Romo throws, and Murray out to the 28-yard line. Paysinger comes back into the game. Herzlich makes the tackle. Murray needs a breather here, and it's 3rd down and 2. So Murray, yeah, they're going no huddle here.
Yeah, this is a big 3rd down and 2. Cowboys defense reeling on that last drive. They could use a little time off.
This is a very big drive, too, in a 6-point game, and you don't want to give the Giants the ball back. Not only that quickly, but what you really want is at least 3 points to turn it in to a 2-possession game again.
Absolutely.
Philip Tanner comes in the backfield. Romo runs the play clock down and then throws, and the pass is incomplete.
That has to be interference.
And Bryant
all the way across the field.
Right.
That's the longest I've ever seen a flag thrown in my life.
Well, one official is right there. He doesn't throw it, but the other does, and they're going to call it on Aaron Ross. Or at least they're going to discuss it.
Pass interference. Defense, number 31, played through the receiver's back. Automatic 1st down.
Pretty amazing. The official right there. Maybe he just didn't get a good look at it, but there was no doubt about it. And the official over here threw one about 8 miles across the field. At least he saw it.
Right, he was well behind the play, the official who saw it, and a big conversion for the Dallas Cowboys out of the 35-yard line. 6-point game. Harris takes the pass, but that doesn't fool Terrell Thomas. He's right there to stop him in his tracks.
Boy, sometimes those plays are the toughest for a cornerback. When you have to sort of weave your way through blocks, that's a good sign that that knee is doing much better, that he's able to make that kind of a play right there. Just before Doug Free could get to him, he was able to make the tackle.
Halfway through the fourth quarter.
They've been trying to go after Aaron Ross a little bit, the backup corner, but haven't had a lot of success. The pass interference on the last one, about it.
Joined us late, DeMarco Murray with a concussion in the first half and out, and Romo jostled and goes down at the 26-yard line. Linval Joseph getting there first.
Well, Linval Joseph has been close all night. He really deserves to get a sack. Going to go right through Mackenzie Bernardo, who has struggled, and I think is probably as soon as next week you're going to see Brian Waters play in that right guard position. That's the weakness right now in this offensive line. He struggled tonight, and if Brian Waters is ready, I think he'll be the starting right guard next week.
Came in last week trying to get Waters into football shape. 3rd down and 18 now. It's the first sack of Romo tonight. Tony stepping up. Under pressure, and he's going to get sacked back at the 15. Jason Pierre-Paul. So the Giants didn't have a sack all night, and then they get 2 back-to-back, and it's 4th and 30, and they're going to get the ball back with what figures to be decent field position.
Complete coverage check. Only rushed 3, and Jason Pierre-Paul just stays with it, and somehow that's going to go down as Doug Free is giving up the sack, but it really wasn't. A lot of coverage back, no way to get the ball out of there, and the Giants are in business.
Chris Jones the punt. Ruben Randall ready to receive it. Randall at the 31-yard line. And Ruben Randall with a spin move and a decent run back to the 45-yard line. And here comes Eli and the Giants very much in it.
There
down
we
by
go.
6. Not too late, folks, to play NFL.com fantasy football. Get free mobile apps and exclusive instant highlights. There's the information right there. Okay, 45-yard line. The Giants, despite 5 turnovers, in a position to take the lead if they can get a touchdown off this drive, and they begin with a pass that's incomplete. You know what's amazing, Chris, is the fact that Dallas Cowboys have not trailed tonight. Last year, they were behind in every game. Every game at one point.
Yeah, this is the first time we've really seen Justin Pugh get beat on this when he gets beat with an inside move, and Eli really had no choice but to dump it out of there. Selby's had a nice game tonight.
He has. Playing the spot that would normally be occupied by Anthony Spencer. 2nd down and 10. And Manning throws off his back foot and incomplete. Intended for Hakeem Nicks. Carr with the coverage, and quickly it's 3rd down and 10.
Selby one more time coming off the edge, working against the rookie. That's called the old pick tough, when the inside guy knocks off the tackle and then tries to take the direct path to the quarterback. But for a guy that was on the streets right before camp, he has been a huge addition for the Cowboys without Anthony Spencer.
Crowd rising is 1. Big 3rd and 10 for the Giants. And Manning's going to go down, but somebody might have gotten a face mask because you saw that flag come in. Jason Hatcher came in for the sack, but did somebody grab the face mask?
Holding, offense, number 76. This penalty is declined. Result of the play brings 4th down.
Against the Giants, Chris Snee, the son-in-law of Tom Coughlin. And a sack on 3rd down.
Snee had him by the throat here after this inside move. Right around the neck. Jason Hatcher's had a night.
Oh, and then Weatherford goes down. He got spun around, but they're not going to send a flag down as Harris brings it back, and then Kiwanuka gets into a little
the receiver
shoving match.
That's interesting. I think what the official is saying is that the punter swung his leg around into the on-rushing defender. Watch this. See if Weatherford swings his leg over into Orlando Scandrick, and you could see the referee swing his leg around as if to say, no, he swung his leg into Scandrick, and that's why you get the no call there. Tony Corrente was giving us the body language on that. I've never seen an official do that before.
He did the full pirouette from the 16-yard line. Murray with a first down on the first play of the drive up to the 28-yard line, tackled by Herzlich.
Here's sort of the new running style, these stretch plays, and then the back can cut back behind it. It's used a lot around the National Football League, and you're really just trying to keep bodies on bodies. It's not so much of, there's Tony Corrente in the background. Attaboy, Tony. He's an athlete.
The chorus line.
Double.
4.5 to go from the 28. To the outside. And then upfield for a very short gain. DeMarco Murray has been the workhorse tonight. Herzlich again with the tackle.
I actually think you're going to see this Cowboys running game be much better than what they were a year ago. You know, everybody was complaining about the Cowboys. They don't run the ball enough. Well, they were behind the whole, seemed like the whole season, so they had to throw to try and catch up. But a lot more confidence now with this offensive line and their ability to run the ball, and they're hanging with it.
I mentioned they trailed in every game last year. They led only 22% of the time last season. Only Oakland and Kansas City were worse in that department. Murray. He takes the ball up to the 33-yard line. And for the Giants now, a very big stop.
Nice job that time by Tony Romo. He saw Entrell Roll sneaking up on the backside, killed the play, which means the pass is now off. We're going to run it to the left side, and that's what he's been able to do. He's involved not only now in the coaches' meetings, but he essentially is putting together the passing game plan instead of having it handed to him on Tuesday. He's involved from the beginning.
Huge 3rd and 4 again. If they pick up the first down, then Coughlin's going to have to start using his timeouts here. He still has all 3. Romo runs the play clock all the way down and gets the snap off. And the pass is caught, but stopped is Bryant on a 4th down. Does he want to take the timeout here? Coughlin works the timeout situation as well as any coach I've ever seen. Bryant is down. Coughlin takes the timeout, his first, with 2:47, and they're going to get the ball back. And they've got 2 timeouts plus the 2-minute warning coming up.
A missed opportunity. Blitz comes, just turn around. If the ball had gotten there quickly enough, I think Des Bryant would have broken that tackle. But Mundy comes up and makes a solid tackle, which is really his forte.
And Romo checking out his receiver, but the Cowboys with other issues right now as the Giants will get the ball back. As you look at the score by quarters, remember at the half, Dallas led 13-10. The Giants were very much in the game. Tony Romo went to the locker room. We didn't know if he'd come out in the second half. Tom Coughlin said worst half of football he's ever seen. And then Dallas gets 14 quick ones, but the Giants get 7 before the end of the quarter. And now each team in the 4th quarter, the Giants with 7, the Cowboys with 3. And after this punt, the Giants are going to get the ball back with a ton of time and a 6-point deficit. Fair catch is called for. Ruben Randall at the 17-yard line.
Well, Des Bryant looks like he got his ankle rolled up on this one, pinned underneath the tackle of Ryan Mundy. And trying to, he's not happy at all, is he? Don't blame him. He thought this was going to be his season. But Al, I've got to tell you, for the first 57 minutes of a game, there's a lot of quarterbacks that I may take over Eli Manning. In the last three, not so many.
And here we are with 2:41 to go. All the time he needs. They've got 2 timeouts. They've got the 2-minute warning. They start from the 17-yard line. And Eli will begin over the middle with a pass to Darrell Scott. And again, Scott playing now because Wilson's on the bench. 2 fumbles tonight. And that did hint in for the night. And there he is.
The other thing you factor in at this point is you're playing 4 downs, probably. Not absolutely, but probably.
2nd and 5. And that is too high and incomplete. Intended for Scott, so it'll be 3rd down and 5.
Eli has had a couple of balls get away from him. The early interception, and that one just seemed to sail a little bit. Really lucky they got away with that tip ball. I think if they don't convert here, though, they'll probably punt.
I think so, too. They're still going to have the 2 timeouts and the 2-minute warning. Manning guns it over the middle. Caught. That's Randall. They convert out to the 49-yard line. And that's going to take us to the 2-minute warning. So here are the Giants. Despite 5 turnovers, only down by 6. 2 minutes to go at AT&T Stadium on Sunday Night Football. Wendy's post-game report. Michelle with the star of the game. Bob, Tony, and Mike Florio break it down. Chris and I look ahead to 49ers Seahawks. We saw Peyton Manning the other night say, hey, his goal was to be interviewed by Michelle after the game, which meant he played well. 7 touchdowns. Will Michelle be interviewing another Manning tonight? Eli, 370 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Surveys and then throws it. It's intercepted off Scott's hand. Brandon Carr running it down. Touchdown, Dallas. A 49-yard interception return. Most turnovers for a Giant team in a quarter century. Off Scott's hand. And then Carr takes it to the house. All scoring plays being reviewed.
Timeout. Dallas. This is their first.
And Dallas takes a timeout.
Same thing that happened earlier. They come up in this double-barrel blitz look. They back out of it. Eli checked to the screen, but Darrell Scott slow to get his head around, and he simply was able to just flick the ball, and it goes for a touchdown the other way. Eli so frustrated the minute he threw it. He just could not believe that Scott had not turned around by that point. Game over. Failure at the running back position, the lack of timing at the running back position, the fumbles at the running back position have really hurt the Giants tonight.
The Cowboys took a timeout. What they want to do is probably go for 2 because it's a 12-point game, so they want to make it 14. And that's why they took the timeout. So Garrett did the math, said, let's go for a 2. Des Bryant is back in the game. There he is off to the left. And Romo, who we didn't know about at halftime, throws to Bryant, and he juggles and then can't make the catch. It's broken up. Roll and Ross are both there, but still it's a dozen points that they lead by, and the Giants will have 2 timeouts left when they get the football.
I think this was supposed to be one of those back shoulder throws, thrown a little bit inside. Ross able to get his hands on it. Boy, it's just amazing. An NFL team, because of an injury to Andre Brown in the last preseason game, right? A lot of guys don't play their guys in the final preseason game, got left short at running back once David Wilson's fumbles came back. Now, I don't want to blame that last play on Darrell Scott. Eli's got to see him, but you've got to think if over the course of a lot of practice time that had been Darrell Scott in there instead of David Wilson, they would have had those bugs worked out. Instead, the fumbles, the benching, and the turnover.
No question. Well, you know, it was time to let Bradshaw go, and they did. They felt Wilson would be the guy, and maybe he will be down the line. But he took himself out of tonight's game with the 2 fumbles. Scott, as we mentioned, the injury to Brown put Scott on the team, and there you have it. And you're not going to win a lot of games with 6 turnovers. Okay.
Almost won this one with 5.
Right. And to the 20-yard line go the Giants. So we go to Seattle next week. Colin Kaepernick and Russell Wilson, 2 guys who emerged last year, the budding stars. If they're not already stars, football night at 7 o'clock. And for Tony Romo, what a night and what a scare he put into every Cowboy fan and to Jerry Jones and Jason Garrett when it looked like, and he came out of the game at the end of the first half. Who knew at that point? You don't know what's going on. Can he come back tonight? Can he come back for weeks? You didn't know. But he comes out, plays well in the second half. Scott makes the catch and gets out of bounds to stop the clock.
And you don't know what happened to Tony Romo. We still don't know. Was it just the wind knocked out? Did he have a bit of an issue with those ribs? If he did, a lot of times guys can finish a game with a rib injury, and it's worse the next week. So there's still questions to be answered here.
I think Michelle may find out after the game.
Well, lucky Tony.
2nd down and 4 from the 26. And that's caught over the middle. It's the tight end making the catch, Brandon Myers, and a 1st down. Eli hustling up to the line, saving the timeouts. 128 over the middle. And again, that's Myers, who comes over from Oakland to replace the departed Martellus Bennett. Jerry Jones.
He's seen
Jerry
too many of
Jr.
these.
Stephen Jones, it's nail-biting time. Still is.
I'll tell you, he stepped up tonight for the Cowboys there. Jason Hatcher has played great.
2nd and 1. Manning throws wide open. He goes right back to Myers, the tight end. And now with under a minute, the Giants will take a timeout, and they're down to their last 1.
Well, you know, Al, this is another tremendous matchup here tonight. But 27 years ago, do you have any idea where you were?
27. Oh, my God. Monday Night Football with Frank Gifford.
Thank you, sir. I will keep doing the hit and run if you'll take the bump and run. There you have it. White in the shotgun.
What a game that was, too.
Inside handoff. Walker. 1st down and touchdown. Great call.
The Giants and the Cowboys. That's the way I started Monday night with Frank. I was so nervous. I welcomed people to the 1976 football season. What a way to start. I said to Frank, it's already been a long year. Manning stepping up, stepping away, and he shovels it left-handed, underhanded, and the pass incomplete. Meanwhile, you were in the middle of your career at that point.
Well, was it 77 or 87? It was either high school or NFL. I'm not sure which. Well, I tell you, there's another guy that deserves a little mention tonight, and that's Justin Pugh. He's been put in some tough spots at various times, and he's done a good job over there, too.
2nd and 10. And Manning hitting Scott, and Scott all the way down to the 12-yard line, and the Giants will take their last timeout.
You know, now you almost have no choice but to try and take 4 shots into the end zone. Any kind of tackle in the field of play, and you really begin to run out of opportunities at that point.
Well, Tom Coughlin, a lot to think about, as any coach does in the off week. But for Tom now, what do you do with your running back situation next week?
I think they're going to bring somebody in. I really do. There's always veterans out there. I just don't know that you say, all right, David Wilson, Terrell Scott, you're our answer at running back. These veterans were able to bring them back and give them a chance in this game, but I don't know.
They've got Denver next week, so you have Manning against Manning, among other things, at the Meadowlands. And the pass is caught inside the 10-yard line, but taken down is Scott. And the clock, they can't stop the clock. Under a half minute to go. Giants trying to get into the end zone and recover an onside kick, and that's their only opportunity.
It's an expensive completion right there.
That was. Took about 11 seconds away, and then the pass into the end zone is broken up, and that's Sean Lee, the middle linebacker, knocking it down with 16 ticks left.
Sean Lee is really one of the better cover linebackers in the game, and this new version of Monty Kiffin's defense has put him much more on tight ends and fewer opportunities against running backs. But as you can see, generally he's a pretty good match for a tight end.
3rd and 1. And Eli throwing, and that will be caught. And that's Brandon Myers who crosses the plane for a touchdown. So that stops it with 11 seconds. The Giants with one last gasp, coming with an onside kick.
Really good effort by Brandon Myers that time, just getting up and turning out. This is just basketball rebounding. If you ever played basketball, you're just boxing out, and Eli timed it perfectly. And because the onside kick takes no time, if you can recover it, they're going to have time for a Hail Mary if they can get it.
Josh Brown with the extra point. And the Dallas Cowboys on top by 5. Take a look at that. Thursday night, of course, Peyton had the game for the ages with 7 touchdowns. And Eli with 4 touchdowns tonight, most in any week by the Manning brothers.
Wow, both of them over 450 yards, both 27 for 42. That 3 over there under Eli with the interceptions being the difference.
And that's the way it began tonight. The very first play of the game for the Giants was an interception. And for Romo, what a night. Getting banged around at the end of the first half. Who knew Kyle Orton would have had to come in? And instead, look at that, 36 out of 49. Got sacked twice tonight on back-to-back plays. But apart from that, really nice protection. And for Jerry Jones, well, he's seen enough of the Giants here in this stadium because they've come away with 4 wins. And the Cowboys just have to kill off 11 seconds right now.
Balanced formation. He can really go anywhere with this thing.
And Brown with a high hopper. And it's Witten, and the ball is still loose. And there's a scramble for it.
It's unbelievable how that thing can just lay on the ground for seconds and nobody know where it is.
Still waiting for a signal. Cowboys. The Cowboys have it.
I think it was the old running back Sean Lee who scrambled in there to dive on that one.
So there's Witten. They have the good hands guys in there. He can't get it. Here comes Lee. Great play.
Golly. That thing was on the ground and nobody could find it for seconds. Would have been something to see this game in with a couple of Hail Marys.
Oh, tell me about it.
What a game.
The Giants would have owned the mortgage.
What a game. And finally, the curse is lifted in Jerry's world.
So one kneel down will do it. It's the Giants and the Cowboys, and they have just played some incredibly memorable games, not only in recent times, but going back to 1960. They've been banging around since the Cowboys came in, and the Dallas Cowboys, in a crazy one, come away with a 36-31 win over the New York Giants on opening night. Well, coming up next, it'll be the Wendy's post-game report. But first, these messages for your local NBC station.
Welcome to the Wendy's post-game report. Here now, Bob Costas.
In a wild and somewhat strange, and unless you're a Giants fan, entertaining game, the Cowboys prevail 36-31. The game balls are going to go to Tony Romo and Sean Lee. Their likenesses will be displayed on the Sunday Night Football bus. Romo, whose return for the second half seemed to be in doubt after he was crushed late in the first half, winds up going 36 for 49 with a couple of touchdowns. And Sean Lee is one of the stars of a defense that forces 5 turnovers. The Giants had 6 turnovers overall, and that obviously did them in as we turn it over to Michelle.
Tony, just before halftime, you took quite a shot to the ribs. And when you came out of the locker room, we had shots of you grimacing. Did you just fight through the pain, or did it dissipate as time went by?
Nah, I mean, it's football. You know, you just take shots throughout football games. You just keep playing. Believe me, there's about 28 other guys in there who went through the same thing. And it was a good game. Hard fought. It was a good challenge. Glad to come out on top.
How do you expect those ribs to feel tomorrow? How are they feeling now?
They'll be all right. I think more than anything, it's just, just happens in football, and I'll be fine.
A couple of sacks late, but other than that, your offensive line really held up. It was a bit of a question mark coming in. How would you evaluate what they did?
Well, they did a great job. You know, they really hadn't run the predominant coverage they'd ran, you know, in years past or much in the preseason. So they did a good job, had a good plan, and we had to just take what they gave us. They kept everything in front of us all night and didn't really allow us to get behind them, and give them credit. They made it tough, but I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about how unbelievable our defense played tonight. That was special.
Well, I was going to ask you about that because they really set the tone with the turnovers early. How different do they look to you?
It's different. I mean, more than anything, we haven't created as many turnovers in the last few years as we would like, and I think more than anything, that's been our #1 mantra in training camp. And Sean Lee and the defense, they've been getting the ball since day one, and it hasn't stopped, so that's exciting.
Congratulations on the win.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
We'll turn it to Sean Lee. 6 takeaways in this game, 16 all of last season. What is the biggest difference with this defense?
It's an emphasis. Every single day we're trying to get turnovers in practice. We think about it nonstop, and we were able to do it tonight. It was a complete team effort tonight.
The Giants have been able to come in here and win 4 straight in this big, beautiful building. People on the outside were certainly talking about that. How much of a topic was that with you guys?
We just knew the Giants. Anytime you play them, they're going to be tough. That offense is a well-oiled machine. Eli, some of the throws he makes are unbelievable, and we knew it was going to be tough. Whether it's in New York or here, we knew we had to find a way to get turnovers and find a way to win. Yeah,
and with 2 minutes left, Eli had the ball again. You guys had to go out there and stop them. What was the defensive mindset?
The defense was to keep them in front of us, but find a way to get the ball out, get pressure on them, and find a way to get a turnover, and we did it.
You did it. Congratulations on the win, Sean.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
Bob?
All right, Michelle, thanks very much. Next up for the Cowboys, they go to Kansas City, where they'll see an old foe, Andy Reid. And for the Giants, they will welcome the Broncos to the Meadowlands. It'll be the 3rd act of the Manning Bowl, the first 2 when Peyton was with the Colts. Each time Peyton Manning prevailed over the younger Eli. We'll see what happens this time next week in New Jersey. Now let's bring in Tony Dungy. Tony, your reaction to this game tonight in Arlington.
Well, Bob, I thought the first thing was Tony Romo and being patient. As he mentioned in the interview, saw some different coverages. The Giants wanted to play conservative, and he took the underneath throws all day, and that was really, really what they needed. Second thing was what both of those guys mentioned, the Dallas defense. I coached 6 years in Tampa with Monty Kiffin, and he does emphasize the takeaways, hustling to the ball, making things happen on defense, not sitting back and reacting, and forcing those turnovers tonight. That was huge. That's what Dallas is going to be about the rest of the year, and they're off to a great start.
Tony, looking back at the rest of the day, what stood out to you?
Well, I was really glad to see Sean Payton back on the sideline, and I think the New Orleans Saints were the most impressive team to me. They moved the ball around played aggressively on offense, used all their weapons. I thought Drew Brees played well and played in sync, but defensively, such an aggressive attitude when they needed that play at the end of the game to stop Atlanta. They got it. I just think offensively and defensively, they look so much improved. I thought they were the big story today.
All right, Tony, thanks. We'll turn now to Mike Florio of Pro Football Talk. Mike, what are the big stories you're working on for tomorrow?
Well, Bob, last September, the Green Bay Packers were victimized by a bad call in a road game against an NFC West team. And this September, the Green Bay Packers were victimized by a bad call in a road game against an NFC West team. Here's what happened. Second quarter, 3rd and 6 on the Green Bay 10. 49ers quarterback Colin Kaepernick rolls left out of bounds. Clay Matthews hits him late. Flag goes out. Joe Staley, the 49ers, gets involved. Flag goes out. Offsetting penalties after the play. The down should have counted. It should have been 4th and 2. But the officials gave the 49ers a mulligan. 3rd and 6 over again after those offsetting penalties. Touchdown pass from Colin Kaepernick to Anquan Bolden. After the game, referee Bill Levy admitted that the crew made a mistake. And consider this, Bob. This had happened week 1 of the 2012 season. It would have been a mistake made by the replacement officials.
Which shows that even the best in the business can make mistakes too. Although you seldom if ever make one yourself, Mike. For all of Mike's information and more, don't miss Mr. Florio on Pro Football Talk presented by Chevrolet tomorrow and every weekday at 5:30 p.m. on the NBC Sports Network. Cowboys win at 36-31 over the Giants. Al and Chris wrap it up after this.
Welcome back to the Wendy's post-game report. Here now, Al Michaels and Chris Collinsworth.
Well, that's next week. We mentioned during the game, a lot of people have the 49ers and the Seahawks 1-2 in their power polls. I think what's really interesting is those two teams were 1-2 in fewest points allowed, and yet the headliners are going to be the two quarterbacks. It's going to be a lot of fun next week.
No question about it. And really, those two quarterbacks are sort of changing the way we think about the quarterback position in some ways. You know, it's always been about the Peyton and the Eli Mannings and the Tony Romos throwing from the pocket. And now for the first time, we're starting to see these young guys with some of the read option, the play action off of it. I just think it's a lot of fun to watch, and especially when you put them in that atmosphere in Seattle, it's going to be nuts.
Right, it's going to be crazy. If Seattle wins today, they beat Carolina. Had an equal now, 12-7, even though Russell's numbers were very, very good. And we just saw what the 49ers did. Mike Florio explaining the controversial play. But it's wild. Seattle's always wild. We know that.
I know it breaks your heart to see the power shifting to the western part of the United States. A couple of shorter trips for you.
Absolutely. All right, so I'll see you in Seattle next week. That'll be great. In Seattle, and it was a wild one here tonight in Texas at AT&T Stadium as the Dallas Cowboys hold on to beat the Giants by a score of 36-31. Now, this is Al Michaels and Chris Collinsworth, Michelle Tafoya, our whole gang led by Fred Godelli and Drew Esikoff down in the truck saying good night from Arlington, Texas.